When it comes to sports in Lorain, your station to watch is TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television.
Good evening and welcome to George Daniel Field, and it is a beautiful night for football and something special tonight. The Titans hosting Clarkson Academy North out of Canada. Football North, they call themselves, the Clarkson Mustangs, and they are a big, my friend Tom Bauer here with me, along with Rick Amador on the sidelines. And first impressions?
They are big. They look very athletic. They look like they can fit into the schedule they have worked out for themselves, because they play some of the best in at least Ohio.
Well, next week they come back down this way to play St. Ignatius. And in 2 weeks they go all the way to Cincinnati to play St. Xavier, one of the better schools down there. But for tonight, the Titans will kick from north to south. Number 4, Caesar Jeter, will kick. Deep for Clarkson, number 8 is Brendan Barrow. And it looks like it might be number 4, Kevin Nasuba. Jeter foot into ball, end over end kick to the near side, bouncing and out of bounds inside the 10, but they'll bring it back to the 35. Good depth, but wrong direction, and as a result, the Mustangs will start in pretty good field position.
I talked to the coach and asked, what kind of offense they really run, and he says they will run whatever the defense gives them. They can throw, and they can also run. So time will tell, what they come out in. They'll spread. They'll get into some two backs.
So for the Titans up front, Nate Melendez and Isaiah McDowell with Antonio Wyatt between them as they come out in the gun. 3 receivers to the far side, tight end to the near side. Single setback behind DeJesus, the quarterback. Turn fake, missed communication. He breaks a tackle and gets a couple as he handed near side while the running back stood in protection.
Yeah. It looked to me like he was a fake, but
nobody home.
Might have been a run on the other side.
There would have been a nice hole there for a running back.
That's what we always teach quarterbacks too. If you miss the handoff, go into the hole where he was supposed to go, because the blocking set up for you.
Yeah, the blocking doesn't know who's got the ball. Across the front for these sizes for Canada, 300, 315, 260, 330, 240. Straight back is DeJesus, looks wide and long. He's got a man out there too far out for
Barrow,
Brendan Barrow, number 8.
Guys, pay attention to that wind going from east to west. It's gusting pretty well up here. That ball kind of died as Nick DeJesus, who threw that ball. And also, Nick is actually the backup quarterback from this team up north.
Yeah, they had an injury, correct?
That is correct.
So,
well, he put a lot of air under that ball, so he looked pretty nice for a backup.
And we saw it in the air a lot last week. So 3rd and 8. Trips to the far side. Single receiver split to the near side. DeJesus back, looking over the middle, throws it out wide again. Same pattern, same result. That looks like number 9, Clark Barnes. He's listed as a receiver.
Okay.
6'2", 193. Size of the receivers, 6'5", 200, 6'1", 180, 6'2", 195, 6'2", 175. So the Titans secondary going to be at a big disadvantage, but they hold on downs here, and they'll get it via the punt. Tyshawn Lighty, Mr. Excitement, deep for the Titans. Snap back is good. Punt underway. End over end kick. Going to hit out of bounds.
Now, he was not punting that way in warm-ups.
Oh, my.
I wonder if it was because he's seen a few of Lighty's returns on, on a scouting report.
It's going to be right at the 25 for Lorain. Coach McFarland was hoping for a couple more. He patted the official on the back and give him a come on down this way some, but it'll be on the 25 for the Titans. For Lorain, Rayshawn Rogers, the center. Alzier and Larson, the guards. Larsosa and Wilson, the tackles. Sturgill in the backfield, and behind him is Dalen Dower, the exciting sophomore. His brother Davion to the near side, trips to the far side. Straight back, bubble screen. Tyshawn Lighty Lighty gets a block, gets a few before he's pushed back. Okay, the official on the near side had 3, and the official on the far side has 2. So that's where it's going to be. Going to be 2, 2nd and 8.
And, guys, also real quick, Dakota Mincy's in the backfield.
It is
not
Mincy,
Dalen Dower.
Very good, thank you. It's Cross and Lighty inside of Dower on this side now. On the far side, I think that's Jermel Nolan.
They have the box loaded up.
They sure do.
6 on the line.
Sturgill lets it fly. Has Nolan. Nolan's out across the 30 to the 33. Going to be 3rd and a couple.
Guys, great eye manipulation by Justin Sturgill. He looked to the right where they set up the bubble screen, came back to his left to Nolan, who was wide open.
Okay, 3rd and 2. Right at the 33. 10 minutes to go, first quarter. Mincy changes sides. He was so big last week. He's going to get his first carry here, and he's going to get the first down out across the 35 to the 37. There were a lot of heroes last week, but certainly none was bigger than Dakota Mincy. And now Dower will come in to a wide receiver spot. He is lined up next to Cross. There's Dalen. Drops the pass, was a little ahead of him. It was going to be another bubble screen.
A little low and
a little bit forward. That's a lot harder pass to throw than it looks because of the straight line that the players are on. So 2nd and 10, 9:43 to go, clock stopped. Sturgill calls it out. There's another one, fakes the bubble screen. He's got a man. That's Dower, over Dower's head, but there's going to be a penalty in the inside of the line anyhow.
Yeah, I seen that play worked.
Well,
every time they run it.
It worked last week for a 50-yard touchdown, and he was 20 yards behind the team. They tucked the flag away, but we haven't seen an indication.
They're calling a legal motion by Mincy in the backfield.
Was it Mincy? Okay.
Yeah.
They declined it, however. So it will be 3rd and 10 with 9:40 to go. Interesting that Dower is out wide the entire series he's in here.
Yeah, I think they're offside.
I think they were offsides that time, but there was no flag, so it must have been a good anticipation. There was certainly nothing there for Sturgill. Smacks the hand of the defensive lineman, 92, Justin Sambu. 6'4", 245 landed on him. He's out there with Kale Dava, 6'4", 230. They've got some big kids on the line. And big 75, Tyrell Lawrence, 6'7", 375. Sturgill to kick. Good snap, pulls it down, gets it away. End-over-end kick high. Good kick. Back to the 31, taken there. Brought ahead. There's a block in the back as... The return by Nasuba is out to the 36.
Aaron McDowell was the first one down there. And
as he should be.
Forced him to go out into coverage.
When you are the long snapper, you're untouchable.
I'm sure the fans can hear that are watching at home, the oohs and ahs from the crowd. There's a terrible crackback on the team from up north. But let's see if the defense can respond and get the offense back on the field.
Rick, you're down there and you've had a chance to look at the line play, and how does it look like our line can handle that size?
Well, with that last series, they were getting the ball out of Justin's hands so quickly. You can see the game plan. They don't want those big uglies from Canada to get downhill, so I would expect to see that all game. But so far, seems like an even match.
Okay. 1st and 10 at the 18 following the penalty for the Mustangs. Give straight ahead, cutting wide, getting a hole and getting outside down the sideline before he's not knocked out of bounds. Pulled down from behind by, that's Nate Melendez from his defensive end spot who ran him down. But the gain is to the 35. It'll be 30-42.
They had him touched behind the line of scrimmage.
Right, there was contact there by Cairo Smith. He broke that. Now when Torres had a hand, and Lighty looked like he had him, but he just didn't get low enough. And the strength of
Yeah, I think Melendez ran him down.
The running back Yearwood.
Yeah.
Straight back looking to throw is DeJesus. He's got a man out there. Was the back shoulder throw for Clark Barnes, covered closely by Zion Cross. The safety Lighty also over there on that one. 2nd and 10.
Zion got kind of turned around right there. We're lucky they didn't throw a flag on that one.
Well, it was an interesting pattern because I was looking out there and it looked like their receiver wasn't interested in running a pattern. He was just kind of loping along there, and it looked like a bad fake, of a pattern for me. And all of a sudden the ball was up, and they were trying to back shoulder. He's got to get a little bit more effort into the sprint. Motion now for Clarkson. Lehman in motion, resets 3 to the near side. Snap is low, fallen down on DeJesus. Back outside the 40 at the 42. Break for the Titans there.
This is a passing attack for this first 3 were all long to the outside.
Yes.
If he had watched some of the previous games, Lorain was getting beat on slants and little stops in the middle. So I wonder if they'll come back to that or if they haven't seen that.
Last week, particularly, Garfield Heights, when the ball was on that hash mark over there, the wide guy would be outside the numbers over here, and they just stretched him so horizontally thin. It's 3rd and 17 now. DeJesus all alone in the backfield. There's a little come underneath pass caught by Barnes, but not going to make the first down. In fact, going to get a yard after all was said and done. Isaiah McDowell was the first one on the scene. So move it to the spot it for no gain. McDowell had a break on the quarterback and felt the screen coming and backed off. So punting now for Clarkson. High snap is pulled down. Boot is away, and that's a bit more what we saw in warm-ups. It goes into the end zone where it's touched down. You don't have to down it in this country. It's not a rouge.
Now you have to explain.
Okay.
Probably 90% of the people are listening.
If you follow Canadian football at all, their end zones are 30 yards long. And any kick that goes into the end zone must be run out by the receiving team. And if it's not, then it's a 1-point rouge.
Yeah. We had a coach a long time ago, then an AD, Fred Churchill, would always say he didn't care if he won by a rouge. And I never knew what it was until I had to look it up.
Sturgill and Dower in the backfield. Dakota Mincy now in the slot between Davion Dower and Zion Cross. Nolan is to the far side alone. 7:01 to go, first quarter. We have no score. Option look. Sturgill pulls it down, cuts it back. Nice tackle by the linebacker there. Tackle was by 45, Cameron Gilmore.
They picked up,
got 4 that
that's
time.
That's a nice first down
Absolutely.
play.
Second and 6. Same look on the formation. Justin looking for what he sees, adjusts Dower. Turns, wants to throw it out to Mincy. Mincy bounces it outside. One of the things that I can see that happens here is that they have pursuit to the ball.
Yeah.
As Dakota was kind of waiting for a block, and while he was waiting for one to get blocked, a bunch of friends ended up there and a little bit hostile.
The way you beat pursuit to the ball is if you can run a counter back against that grain.
And that's a gain of 3 right there. Going to be 3rd and 3.
Guys, the feeling down here is like a big-time prize fight where the fighters just don't know what they want to do. They're just jabbing each other, filling each other out. Yeah. That's the feel down here, guys.
Kelvin Torres in at guard quickly for David Larson. Don't know what happened.
I think it's an equipment thing.
Okay.
I seen David carrying his helmet off the field.
Okay. Davion Dower had that one in the gut, but they had his arms, and they just pulled his arms away from the football, and it'll be 4th down for the Titans. So 2 possessions for each team and going to be 2 punts for each team. Okay, Larson had the helmet, was ready to go back out there. So you are correct, Tom. Isaiah McDowell to snap. And that is switching sides now. That is Sturgill one steps it away as the snap was a little bit high. Gets a big roll back inside the 30. Oh, that's touched. And that's going to be the first break of the football game.
Yes. That's
the secret weapon. Isaiah McDowell, as you said, first one down again, and alertly pounces on the football as it hit not the return man, but the foot of the blocker. We'll see it right here. And the Titans are set up inside the 30.
Yeah, here comes a replay.
First thing you see, Graham switch side, Marquintes, and then the snap's a little bit high. Sturgill one-foots it, and it hits and takes a great bounce. Right there, I thought the receiver might have touched it, but here it clearly is kicked by the blocker, and the stray dog lands on it.
Guys, for the Titan, number 7 has checked in at fullback for the Titans.
Okay, that's Tyshawn Nelson, the sophomore that did a good job in the second half last week. He had number 33 on. Yet another sophomore. Dower straight ahead. Dower 5 and more. Dower inside the 20. Dower to the 17.
I just have a feeling that's his position rather than out there in that slot. They
were
just waiting for that. Let's put him and get him comfortable.
51 carries, 508 yards. Comes out to just about 10 a carry.
Yeah.
Last week it was 6 for 187.
That's about
that was
60.
31.
Yeah.
And the 3 touchdowns were all over 40 yards, and he wasn't touched on any of them, to give his blockers some credit.
Guys, we have a little equipment issue here with David Larson not having to tie his shoe. Okay. Coach, I'm looking at a lot of these athletes on the field, and none of them taped their ankles. I am shocked by that.
Wow. Dower came out, and Savon Chavis comes into the sophomore backfield. Nolan is out 15 to the far side. Cross and Dower to the near side. Nelson with Chavis behind. Sturgill under center. Gives straight ahead. Nelson. Tyshawn Nelson to the house.
Is that his first score of the season? Yeah.
Guys, that quick hitter over the left side behind David Larson was right there. That's what I like to see. The Titans doing what they've done all year. They weren't trying to be cute on that second possession, or third possession, 6 for the Titans.
And they ran against the big boy. You know, they're putting, that's
370. That's 375 over center.
But that's a lot of times what you do. You got to run at power because you don't want power pursuing you.
Well,
yeah.
This power in particular, there will be times tonight where they just they don't block him. Same formation for the Titans now. Cross lined up behind Dower.
There's a slant. Yeah.
It's Chavis. Chavis breaks through, and he is in for the score, the conversion. So, the first big break of the night goes the way of the Titans. Little Isaiah McDowell falls on a loose one, and the Titans convert. And it's 8-0 Lorain. Rick, what's the feeling like now?
Guys, they're fired up. The Titans feel like they belong. After that turnover, you could just feel the sense of the stadium. It was just kind of like, okay, now we're here. Now we can roll. The short porch, they converted it for 8.
You know, using your boxing analogy, they were just filling each other out. But in a boxing match, there's always one big punch, and that was the fumble on the punt.
Yeah, they landed a blow that time.
And the nice thing about it, guys, they went back to that offset eye look that they've done majority of the year. They got out of that spread look. They showed them that and went back to their bread and butter for 6. I love it.
Yep. Caesar Jeter will kick. The last one was out of bounds at about the 8, but that brings it back to the 35. This team is really spread out up front if you're looking for an onside kick kind of situation later on. Jeter. End over end, going to land at about the 14, skid to the 11, picked up there, brought back. Oh, thank goodness. That was Kevin Nasabo, and he had the ball and was hit at about the 20 and bounced free and was going to reverse field and lost his gription and went down at the 14.
And, guys, I don't know if the grounds crew did this on purpose, but the grass seems pretty long today. Coach, did you notice that down here earlier?
Yeah. You know, sometimes the groundkeeper can win or lose you a game.
I wouldn't have thought that they'd have wanted it long today.
I think we have the speed. You know what I mean? That's so. Time will tell what they have.
But I'm having trouble seeing the shoes of the linemen, if that's what you mean.
Exactly.
Cairo Smith and Kelvin Torres are the inside backers. Dower and Chavis, the outside backers. Give is straight ahead to 25 Yearwood, and he gets back to the line maybe. Who had him?
Cairo Smith.
Yep.
The cornerbacks, Zion Cross is out here. Dakota Mincy to the far side. Safeties are Lighty and Dower, the sophomores. Now Dower will go to corner, and Mincy come to the near side to guard the slot. Dower has the one-on-one on the far side. There's the out. Knocked away. Ooh, nice read by Savon Chavis.
Yes.
He got underneath it, and if it was a good throw, he'd have scored.
Mincy almost picked off the pick.
Well, Chavis got a hand on it, undercutting the route, and then Mincy was between his man and the ball after it was touched. So 3rd and 10.
Guys, it's a good thing that Nick DeJesus didn't look back towards Nick Martiner, the big 6'5" wide receiver. He beat Dalen Dower off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Look for Dalen to come back up off of him a little bit, because this kid has a nice first step.
Well, he's 6'5", and that's a huge advantage. Now motion leaves him alone again as they bring 3 to the near side, and Dalen is on an island over there. His closest help is 30 yards. They look this way. Pressure coming from Big Tone. DeJesus runs into one of his own linemen. And then Malik McCall, and help from Wyatt from behind, who stayed with the play. Back to the 5. Loss of, well, I'll put it at the 6. Loss of 8. And it's going to be 4th and 18. And the Titans looking for good field position again.
You know what I noticed, too, this pass defense, different than previous games, is they're hard-nosing their receivers.
Yes.
And I always said, if you're faster than your receiver, you can get up on him. You don't have to give him the 10-yard cushion. You know, look where Cross is playing him now.
Yep. Dower is at the 40 and Lighty at the 47. Good snap, pulled down. Davion Dower was in there. I don't think he realized the chance that a big hop for Clarkson, and it's going to plug and go out of bounds just shy of the 50. So that's a 44-yard punt with no return, which is about as good as they could have hoped. So 3:53 to go, first quarter. Lorain on top, 8-0, capitalizing on a fumbled or a misplayed punt that hit one of the Mustangs in the back hoof, and the Titans fell on it and took it in.
You know, I asked the coach what their nickname was, and he said our nickname is Football North, because when you Google football in the North, they're the first name that comes up.
It is. Now, I just saw that Jordan Jackson is in at wide receiver for the first time. Split out wide here, the 6'4" backup quarterback. I formation, Nelson in front of Lighty. Gives straight ahead to Dower. Dower makes a man miss. Got 5. Dower moving his feet's got 10, 12. Breaks away. Dalen Dower makes a cut. Move. Dalen Dower needs one man to beat. Dalen Dower to the house. 49 yards.
Wow.
That adds to your average.
Yeah, that'll take him over 10 now.
That's one of those highlight reels that you will see for years to come, folks.
Well,
check it out on a replay.
You know, on a lot of coaches talk about yak, yards after contact. Contact was at the line.
2,
3, 4. Nothing there. And a good block by Jordan Jackson, just enough to give him the space to get in. Jordan Jackson, first play at wide receiver, and is alert enough 30 yards downfield to make sure his buddy Dower gets into the end zone. 14 looking for 16 now. Nolan up top, bump and run on him. Give straight ahead. Nelson. Tyshawn Nelson going to be stopped short.
I seen Sturgill follow him through the hole. Does Sturgill keep the ball and follow him through, or
that's what it looked like from here, guys.
Yeah. Okay, well, you know,
I don't know if it was a missed handoff or that was a
play. How quick or how slow that exchange is on the first option. Sometimes I think they both have the ball when
Yeah,
they go
yeah.
into the hole.
Yeah, if you talk to Chavis, he'll say he wants the ball, and then Justin says, I'm not giving him the ball. So there's like a little power struggle there,
Yeah.
guys.
Got to defer to the senior.
That's why they call it a read, though. And Sturgill's the one who's supposed to be doing the reading. So
after good field position after a fumbled punt, the Titans take advantage. And then on a good field position following a defensive stand, they get it at the 49, and it takes Dalen Dower one play to go those 49 yards and give the Titans a 14-0 lead. This is Football Lorain and Football North. Jeter, toe into ball that time, lets it skid down to the deep man at the 11. That's Nasaba. Spins off a hit that time out to the 30 and down about the 31. Nelson was one of the first ones down there, Tyshawn Nelson.
Guys, what was exciting is the fact that as soon as this ball was placed, Antonio White sprinted off here from the sideline. A motivated Antonio Wyatt is a great Antonio Wyatt.
Yes, it is. And they've got him in now on the nose just because they've got McCall and Melendez at ends, and they like to move him around. And when he's going through a gap, it really can disrupt the inside part of the running game. There's the give straight ahead, and as I said, there's Mr. Wyatt on top along with Torres and McCall.
He wasn't the first,
Right.
but he was right there. The hole was jammed up. And what's nice, those ends are more like ends that can cover wide because they got the quickness.
And what Antonio brings there is he is able to split the double team and kind of make them take up the hole.
And he forces a double team, so it keeps the trapping out of the game.
Right.
You won't see a whole lot of guards pulling.
2nd and 11, give straight ahead, hit it about the line.
Whoa.
That's a big pile.
Guys, you had asked me earlier what I thought about the battle at the line of scrimmage, and Lorain is definitely holding their own. And Clarkson's having a tough time blocking the point of attack with Antonio Wyatt and Nate Melendez and McCall.
And I think that what has happened here is it took a couple series, and the Titans know that they can, hang with this team right now. That the size isn't a match for the quickness. Now, you got to believe that Clarkson is going to put some points on the board. They play against good teams every week. DeJesus pump fakes and gets wrapped up.
Antonio Wyatt.
That's big tone.
Well, if you look back here, every one of their three receivers was well covered.
Yes,
and we
they
had
were.
another safety out there. So we had 4 on their 3 receivers.
And what we haven't seen, Tom, is just what you mentioned, is that short to intermediate route that, puts the linebacker drop in so much demand. That's where Garfield Heights took advantage.
And so did Midview.
Right. So Leidy is back at his 39. Snap is back. Kick is away. Dower almost pushed the up. Man, that's a beauty. That's a beast of a punt.
And
that's why you want a fair catch, son.
Yeah.
So he flipped the field.
Yeah, he
from
did.
the 23 to the 12.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys caught that with my mic, guys, but Coach Hall was actually applauding that punt because he said, offense, that just means more yards. More yards.
Well, 65 on the punt, no return. That'll help your average there. But the Titans have scored the last 2 times they touched it in very quick fashion. One of the things we have to remember with these skill position guys is Dowers and Leidy's and Chavis's and Nelson's. They're sophomores. Now add Jordan Jackson at wide receiver to that mix as he's in there with Cross inside of him. I formation in the backfield. Nelson is in front of Mincy. Nope.
No,
Chavis.
that's Chavis.
Now Cross moves out. Straight ahead, that's Nelson. Nelson is out to the 15-16, perhaps the 17. Good gain on first down of about 5. Titans right back to the line. This is something else you can do to a big team.
Play quick.
Yeah. You got to get that 375 pounds organized and get back up in a stance right away. Nelson again, couple more out to the 19. Need the 22, so it's 3rd and 3 with under a minute to go in the first half.
I'm looking for a little bubble screen out here because I see Cross is not covered.
Nice cut there by Chavis, but then he got bottled up.
Right into the second level linebacker.
Nice fill by the linebacker that time. Clarkson says enough is enough.
Generous spot there, guys.
Going to give us the 21. Ooh.
4th and a yard. You know, we got a riverboat gambler for a coach here.
Is the ball marked for play yet? 20 seconds to go. You might see him line up to run a play and not snap the ball, as we're under 20 when the whistle blew, so they can.
Is there any advantage for wind down there, Rick?
It's not at all. The flag's hanging.
Occasionally us east to west. Look for them to go with the hard count, guys.
No.
Oh, my goodness. It's going to be first down, but I don't know which way.
No, I know which way.
It's going to be first and 10 for football. Oh, my goodness. The referee signaled first down Lorain.
But I see the stickmen are.
Both teams are changing sides, and that's going to be the end of the quarter in any event. Now, what they're going to do, I'm sure, is measure and then figure out where it goes at the other end of the field. Well, we have played 12 minutes at the George. Lorain 14, Clarkson nothing. Back with more after this timeout.
We make Marines who overpower the desire to quit with the perseverance to prevail. Not for glory, but for honor. For a code that isn't written or spoken, but lived. It's what we do. It's who we are. It's the battle cry of our fighting spirit. Battles won. See all the battles Marines fight to win at marines.com.
Ohio State is saving lives every day.
This is Ohio State.
We're the economic engine of the state. A major employer.
Over 60,000 students. We're on the forefront of cancer research. An educational core of Ohio.
Impacting tens of thousands daily.
Our alumni organization is nearly 500,000 worldwide.
This is Ohio State.
This is Ohio State.
Ohio State.
This is the Ohio State University.
As we come back, you will see the officials bringing the chains out to measure for the first down. We know it's going to be 1st and 10. It's just a matter of which way. And the measurement is going to show that we are short a yard, and it's Clarkson ball at the 21. Give straight ahead. That's the other running back who's inside the 10. That is Barrow. And he's got a 1st and goal with a 11-yard carry.
Well, he was being assisted by their big number 60.
Yeah.
They shoved him probably the last 4 or 5 yards.
And that's what they say their best lineman is, Kyle Hergel, 60. Now, they tried the hard count and then looked to the sidelines. Very mentor-like in their approach. Barrow behind DeJesus. He's got 3 receivers to the far side, a tight end to the near side. Look on the slant. There's flags a-flying as Zion Cross just had nothing to do but grab the big fella. I have no problem at all with that penalty.
That's half the distance probably now.
It's in the end zone. It may be at the 2. Nick Martyr, number 1, is 6'5" and 200. Zion Cross, on a good day, they list him at 5'10". And you'll see it here. DeJesus had the inside man, wanted the slant, threw it behind him, but Zion had his arm. So it is half the distance, Tom. You win, and it's 1st and goal at just inside the 5. 11:32 to go in the half. Titans by 14. Gives straight ahead to Barrow. He bounces off one man and then is engulfed. Davion Dower there along with the end working, Cairo Smith working out from the middle.
Great job by Davion Dower. Keep it contained there, Coach.
Yes.
Forcing that run back inside.
So loss of a yard, 2nd and 6. 14-0. What a backbreaker this could be if the Titans could somehow hold them to a field goal.
They still spread them wide out.
Barrow again, now 4 wide receivers. Now they bring Lehman into the wing. Straight back, want the fade. They've got the big fella on the fade. Nice throw, nice catch. Wow, you can't do it any better than that. DeJesus to Mardner, the 6'5 wide receiver on the fade, and it was perfectly thrown. So the gamble comes back to haunt Lorain.
Yeah.
And Clarkson takes it in to cut the lead.
Yeah, once Clarkson went at the line of scrimmage, it was just a matter of was that ball too deep, and he did a great job getting actually both feet in.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
He tried that pro shuffle.
That's a big target. I can remember several years ago when Shaw had a 6'7 wide receiver that played at Ohio State that we had the same kind of issues with. Ball down, kick up and way through. That one's almost out on the track.
I know, it was all the way to the high jump pit.
So the kick makes it 14-7 with 10:42 to go in the half. And here is the fade, and it's one step turn, and there's just nothing that anyone can do with that. Mincy was, I hear all the time the coaches say, make them throw the ball through you. Mincy was in that position, and between the quarterback and the ball, and they just threw it over him.
Well, he probably has 7 inches on Mincy.
Easy.
High-wise.
Now what we don't have is the number for the kicker.
I believe it's a number change for him as well.
Okay.
I'll try to see what I can do to get that for you guys.
Okay.
Chris McLean, number 85.
What is it?
Chris McLean, number 85.
Okay, I don't have him on the roster, I don't think. He's got a nice foot, I can tell you that.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
And handwritten one.
So we've got Mr. McLean kicking off now from the near side hash. 14-7 after the first 4 series produced nothing. The last 4 have produced 3, and that's going to be into the end zone, automatic dead ball touchback. And that was how you like to see it done if you're if it's me.
High and long, yes.
That was not only deep, but it was high. So if it had been returnable, they had a good coverage downfield. And Lorain will take over at the 20, and that's quite a weapon. So 14-7 now. Lorain scored on their last 2 possessions. First Nelson and then Dower. Nolan will go out to the far side. Rogers, Alzir and Larson, Larsosa and Wilson. Near side, Lighty and Davion Dower. Dalen Dower behind Tyshawn Nelson in the backfield. Justin Sturgill is the general.
We'll get the coach at halftime?
Yeah, we'll kind of get the coach at halftime.
Okay, that's perfect.
Straight back, swing it out to Nelson, or to, the wrong Tyshawn. Tyshawn Lighty. Disappointing play for him. He only got 9.
And not a touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, at one time.
Well, he was 4 touchdowns and 8 catches is where he was at before that.
At one time he was like 3 touchdowns and 5 catches, yeah.
And the one last week, he was so far behind the defense, I could have finished it for him. He kind of jogged. It was the fake on the bubble screen, the pump and go.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, was he behind everybody. Sturgill straight back up from under center over the middle.
Oh.
There's a flag as Lighty was double teamed, and it looked like the contact and the ball were pretty close to simultaneous.
Good effort by Lighty there. He almost came down with that ball, guys, but the refs threw the flag for
personal foul.
Yeah, a little excessiveness.
Okay, let's take a look at it.
In the pros, didn't you have something by? Well, that's a nice block by the back also.
Yes, it was. Lighty went up. Oh, helmet to helmet.
Yes.
Yeah, the safety number 3 went up high. That was Tristan Hudson, and that was the call. Of course, at 6'3", he's going to have to go up high on Tyshawn Lighty, who on our roster is listed at 5 foot, but I give him another 8 inches. So 1st and 10 Titans at the 43. Nelson and then Lighty behind Sturgill under center. Whistle, flag, offsides.
Big number 75 lined up in the neutral zone, guys.
Football North was a little too far south there, and they're going to walk 5 yards forward.
Credit Coach McFarland for that one, guys. He was really politicking with the ref over here.
He was standing right there saying, look at this.
He's been here before, hasn't he?
Yeah. He's got Coach Davidson right there in the official's ear, too. And Honester's a big fella. Now would be a good time to test Zion, I think. As you say, Tom, he's got 7-yard cushion from where he's at. Straight back. There it is, and it's a lateral, and he catches it and busts it to the outside, hits the X button. He had 4 and lost his gription.
Yeah. Nice spin.
Yep.
If he lands on his feet, he keeps going.
Now he's down. So I'm not sure what happened. I didn't see.
He looks like he's favoring that shoulder, guys. I'm not a doctor, but that's what it looks like. I'll see if he can get up and walk this one off. Well,
trainer Tracy Menges and her crew is out there. Something new for those of you. There's the hit, and it just kind of missed him, and then he took some funny steps before landing. So I hope he's just cramped a little bit, or
rather than twisted anything up.
Because if you remember last spring, Zion missed most of the track season with
groin problems, wasn't he?
A hamstring issue, and still finished third. Now he might have had a little bit of a stinger.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, guys.
As he's working his left arm around, Coach McFarland and the trainers are walking off with him now. 2nd and a yard. Boy, too bad he couldn't have stayed upright.
Yes, yeah. He's still running if he lands on his feet.
Well, if he's still running, he's at K-Cream Corner because he's headed north. 2nd and about a yard, maybe. The whole playbook in play here. Lighty in replacing Cross.
See, they tightened up on that slot man a little bit after that.
Yes, they have. Straight back, Dower. Not much that time. I don't think he made the first down. I don't think he gained an inch.
If you're going to get a spot, it's going to be close.
They've already moved the box backward. So it's going to be 3rd and a yard. Mincy in for Dower. You know, the one thing that this team doesn't have is it doesn't have a hammer. You know, like a Chavis and a Huff were last year. 3rd and 1. The box is loaded. They fake it to Mincy. Sturgill rolls. Sturgill's going to keep. Sturgill's got the first down and more. Inside the 40, inside the 35. And that's just Justin being Justin.
Yes. Did you see him pointing out who to block, give him some directions out there?
You know, everybody was accounted for except him. And he's got the playbook. I mean, he just had a little talk with McFarland, but he has the book. And it's his to choose. Back under center with 8:57 to go and a new set of downs for the Titans inside the 35 of the Mustangs. Straight back, Sturgill in trouble, hitting the backfield, and that was an outside linebacker that came through untouched. Number 92, Justin Sambu, 6'4", 245.
Mm-hmm.
And he may have come on a stunt. He came from wide, but
he was real wide.
And
we don't have a replay yet whether he came.
I don't know whether the tackle picked off Lars Sosa, but he was beat around the wide side. So 2nd and 14. 8:15 to go, first quarter. Sturgill, he's got bump and run over here on Davion Dower. Gives straight ahead, and Sturgill keeps it. Sturgill kept it from Nelson. He's inside the 25.
Yeah, that's the play I think they ran for that extra point.
Okay.
He just follows him through.
That's going to be close for a first.
It's going to be short, just on the wrong side of the line, I think. 3rd and a yard.
I'm looking for Nelson to carry this one, though.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see the option and see Mincy end up with it wide. Well, Mincy on the give. 5. Spun down at about the 21 is where the contact was. Maybe they're going to spot him at the 22, but it's going to move the sticks with 7.5 to go in the first quarter. And Lorain on top, 14-7.
And right back to the line of scrimmage, guys.
And, they're going to make the big guys work. You are absolutely right, Rick. Right back to the line. They're making the chain crew sweat. There's the quick pass outside, complete to Nolan. Nolan's inside the 10, near another first down.
That ball looked like it might have been tipped. Either that or it was the worst duck.
Yeah, it looked like Billy Kilmer threw it. Let's see. No, it wasn't.
Didn't it go end over end for a
while?
No,
it looked actually a lot better on the replay than it did live. 7:15 to go. Titans on the 11, 1st and 10. That's Nelson. Nope, that's Sturgill following him in. Nelson picked up 2, but he didn't have the ball. Give Justin a 1.5 yards. Here's another place where the size is at a disadvantage. If they've got, like I'm looking out here at number 4, Nasuba 6'1" on the corner against Davion Dower. It takes the fade away a little bit. Pitch out to Lighty. Lighty cuts it up. Dalen Dower, excuse me. Too many ones. Dalen's got a pair of them.
Slow to get up also.
Somebody down.
That's Dalen.
Is it? I'm going to tell you what I know about Dalen. Dalen doesn't want to be hurt 1 yard from the end zone. He had his 8th touchdown in the first quarter. Yeah. So there's going to be a timeout on the field while they tend to.
He's talking to his big brother. I don't know if his big brother's talking to him or.
His big brother's in his ear telling him he ain't hurt, get back in there and score.
And, guys, he was healthy up until he went to stretch that ball out after he was already deemed down. You hate to see a non-football, kind of.
Well, he's holding.
Right,
he's got a bruised shoulder from last week, and he's got his hand up there. He's either pledging the flag or he's, re-bruised it. I'm sure we'll see him again from the way he is walking it off.
And, guys, one good sign you can see down here, these boys are hydrating. They hydrated all week, talked to some of the coaches because they knew it was going to be a hot night. But to see them continue that hydration was very, very important throughout the week.
Well, I was here for practice last night, and they had the cramp guys. They had full water bottles, and they weren't allowed to eat until they had finished their water. Mm-hmm. So they were really on them for hydrating.
Yeah, you hydrate the day before. You don't hydrate at halftime.
I can remember when Big Josh Fenn played here.
Yeah.
He carried a gallon milk bottle to class filled with water all week.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
Now, there was a lot more of Josh to cramp.
Because he had 300 pounds to fill up with water.
And Josh is now at Toledo, isn't he?
Yes, he is. 3rd and a yard. 2 for the touchdown, 1 for the first down. Chavis is in at the tailback spot behind Nelson. Now there's a whistle, and it's an equipment violation. Somebody either has a mouth guard out or a chin strap unbuckled. And this is something we haven't seen this year until I saw it last night in the freshman game. I bet there were 15 times when players were sent out for equipment issues.
I talked to the official. He said, before you used to tell them to tuck that up underneath your helmet, do this. Yeah. Now you have to send them out for a play.
Okay.
You're not allowed to.
Sturgill with the push on the sneak. Nolan says touchdown, but the officials, I think we're going to get a first down when they unstack. 6:24 to go in the half. It's first down. Right. When I say a foot from the goal line, it looks like that official's foot is the length that we need, doesn't it? Timeout there on the field. Clarkson takes time, and Lorain comes over. Dower back out in the huddle with his teammates. We'll see if he's a go. It's the big crew.
Yeah, guys, I just heard the coaches call out Rhino. Rhino's that package where they bring in Antonio White at tight end, Cairo Smith, McDowell, and Chavis in the backfield.
And Calvin Torres, I believe, at tight end, too.
That is correct.
It's the 3-man. It's the Woody Hayes I formation. So we will see. Well, I guess Alzier comes out for this play, and Torres goes in at guard.
McDowell usually is the up of the three-man stack.
On the far side, you have Big Gabe Larsosa at 290, and next to him at tight end is Tone Wyatt at 313.
And there is a play in the playbook where Antonio White catches a pass, guys.
Okay. Is there really?
Don't think tonight's the night, though. Smith, McDowell, and Dower in the backfield. Big Tone fell out of his stance.
Yeah.
It might have been the play that he was going to get the ball.
Yeah.
Well, I think you'll see the regular offense back on the 6. Let's see.
Still first and goal.
First and goal, but now it's from the 6 instead of inside the 1. Still the same formation. Maybe you'll see a toss here to the wide side. Nope, it's just a give to Dower straight ahead. Dalen hits the pile, hops over a couple, gets down to the 2. Good line surge there. And going straight ahead against this team, you're thinking is a little bit of hitting them where they eat, you know?
Yeah.
Now Nelson and Alzier come back, and Cairo Smith and McDowell come out. Torres and Wyatt come out, and Cross comes in along with Nolan. Maybe not along with Nolan. I don't think we have enough. Now Jermel Nolan is sent out. Plenty of time on the clock. I haven't seen the official's hand go up yet. There's a flag.
He didn't get the snap
Offsides. No, it's offsides Clarkson.
Well.
Yeah, Clarkson's really trying to press our receivers on the outside, man-to-man, bumper run coverage.
Is that where it's at?
Yeah, it's exactly where it's at.
Wow.
They warned the defensive backs on the last, right before the first and goal before we went off sides, but that's what's going on down here, guys.
Yeah, I was looking at the back judge under the goalpost for his hand to come up in the air as he will with 5 seconds left on the play clock, and he never moved. So now it's down to second and goal on the 1, which is just about where we were. Davion Dower now switches sides and comes over next to Larsosa at tight end. A formation we're not familiar with. Dower, Dalen to the house.
Right behind Larsosa and Alzier.
And Big Bro.
Yeah, because, Davion went on to the other side, too. That was a dead giveaway, if I'm not mistaken.
Now Dower out, Chavis in for the extra point attempt. It's 20-7. When you've got a team with a kicker like Clarkson has, these are big. Dalen's shoulder felt a lot better after the touchdown. Twins to the near side, over the middle, and just too much size for the slant. It was intended for Dower, but it was just never got past the line. And the extra point is no good, so we'll stay at 20-7 with 5:13 to go in the half. And
now, he's a basketball player. I like to see him where they put it up there to make him jump for it.
Well, it might have been. It just never got out of Justin's hand. Justin's got to get a little bit more depth on that, I think.
Yeah, guys, it was a little quick 2-step drop, not even a 3-step drop.
Yeah.
And when Clarkson didn't get any penetration, they did exactly how they're taught. Their big ugly just got their hands up front. Hands up.
And they are big. So 5:13 to go in the half. Titans on top by 2 scores again at 20-13. And Caesar Jeter with the football, putting it on the tee at the 40-yard line to the south end of the field. Will put it in play. And this has become absolutely the perfect night for football. Not too hot, a little bit of a breeze, but not the flag is hanging. So it's not a breeze that's going to affect anything. And the temperature is cooled.
And no moisture in the air.
Jeter, that one's a low one. They jump over it. They really want the deep guys to handle at the 19. That's Nasuba. He gives ground back. Might be interesting to see where they spot him.
I always told a return man, never stop and reverse your field because they got 11 guys coming down in the lanes.
Jeter and Jermel Nolan down there.
Got a flag, guys.
Got a flag?
Yeah, they're calling a face mask.
But it's against the Titans, so that'll give them the yardage out 15 from where they're at, huh? Flag laying on the 10.
Really what happened, guys, it was just a matter of them ripping for the ball. One of the guys got their hands caught up in the face mask and tugged his mask down.
Officials still sorting this one out. It's an All-American crew. 35, 30, whoa. Where's the man with the ball? Okay, 33. Mm-hmm. So a big one from the 18 to the 33. And the gentleman from up north got to be happy with that adjustment of field position. 5:05 to go.
Oh, they brought a tight end in over
Yeah,
here
every once
now.
in a while. And Big Tone absorbed the running back. He pushed the guard into the running back, and then he absorbed him. Watch this play. Do we have a replay?
Wow. Guys, he used his quickness to knife in there and just blow that whole play up.
This was a play reminiscent of Orlando Pace at Sandusky, where I used to say he used to throw linemen at the ball. And here it is. 72 gets blown up, and then he just absorbed the ball.
And pre-snap, guys, they have Antonio White lined up at the left defensive end.
And as he is right now, it's McDowell over center. They look to throw in the slant zone. Ooh, maybe that's why they don't throw slants. That was Barnes, and he was wide open in front of Dower. And if ball hit him in a bad spot, the hands, otherwise he might still be running.
See, I never blamed the defensive back for that. That has to be a linebacker getting out in that lane to stop that. Or you got to get a corner to take that away.
The issue with pass defense from the Titans, from my novice perspective, has been linebacker drops all year. Chavis has to step out to the slot man there. Straight back to Jesus near side. It's a comeback pass caught, and short of the first down is Mardner, the big 6'5" wide receiver.
But he went up to the high point that ball, caught it with his hands.
The first thing he did was, when they tried the back shoulder earlier, he didn't run the pattern. That time he drove Mincy downfield and stopped and was all alone as Dakota couldn't get stopped as quick. You don't know where you're going like the offense does. So Chris McLean, 85, the punter and kicker in punt formation. It's only 4th and 3. 3:40 to go. Lighty is back inside the 20. Dower is at the 45 in short formation. That punt is underway. Took a long time to get it off. And again, Lighty backs away. This one takes a Lorain hop out to about the 28 or 29. And
he gets a ball high and gives everyone time to cover. Maybe what you got to do is hold those people up a little bit with the ball that high.
Well, it looks like the strategy is to avoid the fair catch.
Yeah.
Which means you are at the mercy of the bounce, and that one was a Lorain bounce. It hit the 25 and had a little backspin on it.
And you also see that the punter holds the ball for an extra second or two to get the...
Davion Dower has been...
Yeah, but he got blocked out of the way this time, so maybe you got to put a couple more people in there,
So 3:24 to go in the half. Titans with all 3 timeouts, lead 20-7. Nelson in front of Chavis in the backfield. Nolan and Lighty on the far side. Cross alone on the near side. He's going to beat this man like a drum if that's what they want, because the safety is up the middle. Zion comes back, but Sturgill has no time. I think they were going to try and run a stop and go, and the only thing that got stopped was our quarterback. But it keeps the clock running. You don't want to necessarily run out the clock, but you don't want to have to give it back to them with a lot of time left, although Football North with 1 timeout. Sturgill looks it over from under center.
You can see they don't have a safety.
Well, he's 8 yards off the ball. Gives straight ahead. That's going to go nowhere. That's Nelson. Maybe he got a yard. The whistle, clock stops, and Clarkson's going to use their final timeout of the half.
Yeah, because they want.
Well, I mean,
they want a couple minutes on the clock.
So, decision time for Coach McFarland, and by that I mean, do you put it in the air and risk stopping the clock, or do you run it and probably not pick it up?
Yeah. You know what they haven't tried yet? They haven't swept.
Yes.
You know, a lot of times when you got those big linemen, when you run a sweep around them, they're out of the play.
And I know one of the things that they put in this week was one of the jet sweep type looks.
Are they going to save it for halftime?
Well, you got to just, not our call. So back out come the Titans. Dower is going to the far side. Mincy is in the backfield with Nelson. Near side, Elighty and Cross, and that's your speed. And they've got safety over top of. There's the reverse to Tyshawn Elighty, and that's going to go nowhere.
Yes.
It was a counter off the sweep that they hadn't run.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to run a sweep 2 or 3 times to get that flow.
And the loss is going to be about 8 back to the 22.
Yeah.
And now the heat's going to be on Justin Sturgill with, well, the clock's at 2:16, but they can let that run down. Justin's experienced enough to know where the clock guy is. So it should be under 2 when he puts his foot into the ball. But Clarkson looks to get the ball around midfield somewhere.
It looked like they're going to put a rush on also.
Yes, it does.
Everyone's pointing to who they're blocking.
And then Marquintez Graham gets the biggest guy that's not pointed to. Whistle, timeout, Lorain with 1:48. And that was perfectly done in terms of clock management.
It's nice having a student of the game in Sturgill back there.
Yes. Now, Coach McFarland was right next to that official on the side, and as soon as the back judge puts his hand up in the air, which is to signal 5 seconds on the play clock, interestingly enough, a lot of high schools now are putting the play clock on the field where you can see it, but I'm not sure who controls it then, if it's official or
someone up in the press box.
Yeah. This is a lot easier than last week where we had to look across the field into the press box to try and see how much time was left. At this point, it got a little easier because it was dark enough that the lights were bright. But we played entire game last week, all 3 hours of it without a scoreboard.
Was that an electrical problem?
Yeah.
That was fun, wasn't it, Jay?
Oh.
I don't have to go for an eye check this time.
I was going to say my eyes are good. Sturgill under pressure. That might have even been touched. That's going to hop sideways out of bounds at the 42. So that might even have had a finger on it. We'll take a look. One of the things the Titans have worked on is a little bit more zip on the long snaps. And what you have to guard against when you do that is a little bit more height instead of a little more zip. So here's the replay. We'll get a better look at it. Sturgill.
Slow motion till you stop.
Gotta go. Hard to tell.
Yeah.
1st and 10, though, at the 42. 3 receivers near side to Jesus. Throws over the middle. Oh, Cairo Smith had an interception in his hands.
No, there's covering your hook zone right there.
But that's exactly what we were talking about. Yeah. That's how you take that away. And Kelvin Torres was just as deep. We'll get a look at it. There's the fake. And the stray dog was in there quickly. The running back had to pick him up to give DeJesus a chance to get rid of it. 3 to the near side. Smith is 5 yards off the ball. Now Torres bounces back. He's going to go back in coverage. Quick out, one-handed by Mardner.
And he stayed in bounds, guys.
He did stay in bounds. So it's 3rd and 5. That's the big 6'5" receiver that caught the fade.
We don't have a grade on him, but someone is looking at him if he's a senior.
Oh, absolutely.
A little bunch over here.
A little bit of a low snap handled by DeJesus. He wants a lot. He's got a man all alone.
Now see.
No tackle there. Knocked out of bounds inside the 10.
Dower is trying to use the sideline as
that
a
was
tackler,
number 2, Lehman. Dower went in shoulder to shoulder with no arms.
Yeah.
And Lehman bounced off and took it inside the 10 before he was bumped out of bounds. Now all of a sudden the clock's not a factor. But those big wide receivers are.
And the disappointing thing about that play is that the coaches recognized it was trying to relay that the routes that were coming off of that formation. Kids did not recognize it and they were able to pick up that big chunk play, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So big play here as the Titans, one of the bugaboos in this early season has been late scores. Midview got one to get back into the game. And then we gave one up against Elyria as well inside the last minute. Now they're pointing to the clock.
Looks like they want to adjust the time somehow.
I think they want it to go back up to a minute 5. Minute 1? Okay. I saw a 1 and a 5 held up, but it's minute 1. Maybe it was the 5 seconds that shouldn't have run off.
Well, I don't think they have enough defenders over on their trips.
No, they don't. Now Chavis wanders out, but Mincy is in the middle of the field as a safety. So I still think there's too much room out there. Well, nice play by
Leidy.
Nice play by Tyshawn Leidy, but also a nice play by, oh boy, there's a penalty after the play. So on the offense. And what I was going to say is DeJesus made the first nice play.
Personal.
On the, here, we'll see it again. As he was under pressure to get this off. Takes it back outside the 20
what
to
was
the 22.
Personal foul? Does anyone?
Winding the clock with 50 seconds. There's the pass, and Leidy does a great job. And then, he kicked out. He kicked.
Here's that little
Melendez.
bunch.
Here's the bunch formation that they burned us with the last time. Straight back. They look there again, pump and go, but ball knocked loose.
Stray dog.
Stray dog, but they're calling it incomplete. Now, the worst part about that is not just not getting the fumble, it's stopping the clock and bringing the ball back to the line of scrimmage. So instead of where the contact was, which would have been outside the 30, we're going to scrimmage at the 20. Yeah, it's an incomplete pass, so it goes back to the 22 instead of
maybe
the 32.
Maybe show that the replay up on this board.
That's not a good call right there, guys. That was a fumble.
Obviously, we were too far away to look. So they'll huddle up with 25 seconds left, 3rd and goal.
Guys, if we can stop, I want to try to get Coach McFarland going into half.
Okay. There's the pump, and then he's hit by Dower, just knocked the ball out.
Yeah.
That was a fumble. Davion Dower knocked it free. There's the bunch formation again. They look away from it. They go to the one-on-one side. There's
2 flags.
And a touchdown. Pass interference is the call. Pass interference on the defense. Mardner caught the ball in the end zone, I thought.
I think he went out of bounds. They pushed him out of bounds.
Oh,
I don't think he caught him.
So he caught it with a one-handed catch, a la.
Hey, Rick, do you remember where the coach said he was going to be, who was looking at him, who was scouting to him?
I thought he said Marshall, Coach, but I could be wrong with that. I'll check. Or Liberty, for sure. Liberty.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See.
Because he was talking about some big Division I schools looking at some of his kids.
Liberty's a 1AA. Now the penalty's half the distance to the 11.
With 20 seconds.
But I think it's still 3rd down.
Yeah, guys, actually that pass interference call, that's actually a heads-up play by the cornerback there, Leidy, to push him out of bounds. I believe he was the guy in coverage.
Well, he grabbed an arm right there.
Or maybe that was Mincy.
No, it was Zion.
Okay.
Can't see the number of the lineman or what happened. But when the injured player is helped off, they'll reset the play clock. Ball is at the 11. Now it's still 3rd and goal. It was half the distance, but there's not an automatic first down on that in high school football. So with 19 seconds to go, you'd think one pass and a kick.
And guys, the injured Clarkson ball player is Mateo Kucinic.
Okay, thank you much. We hope he is okay. 78, one of the big tackles. 3 receivers in a normal formation to the near side now. Straight back to Jesus. Got a man at the 5-6 wrapped up there. Oh, no. Dower went up high in the back, and his arm went across the helmet, and the official threw the flag for grabbing of the bottom of the helmet, and I think that this was just his arm.
He called a face mask, but
now they're calling the face mask person. Now that's an automatic first down. So they'll mark it off from the 7. So 1st and goal or 3rd and goal from the 22 turns into 1st and goal from the 4. To Jesus. Takes it, turns, fades, same play, same result. Touchdown to Mardner. And with 7 seconds left on the clock, a 5-yard fade, a 4-yard fade gets Mardner back on the board, and Clarkson within a score. And once again, the end of half bugaboo comes back to the Titans. And yeah, it's just easy pitch and catch, 6'5" over 5'10". McLean. Snap back, spot down. Pressure from the edge that time was Torres, but not getting there, and the extra point is good, and it's 20-14. Lorain with 7 seconds left in the half. Time for a kickoff return. And boy, the Titans and the men in black sure helped that drive out there, as the pass interference penalty, which was certainly a legitimate call. But first off, the fumble that was ruled an incomplete pass really hurt. And then the face mask down near the goal line that I don't think was a face mask, but either or, they were going to go to that same play, so I don't know how much that mattered anyway.
Yes, I think he would have caught that fade from 20 yards out. Like I said, he's a big-time receiver, and he's getting a mismatch on our defensive backs because we don't have anyone that tall.
We don't have anyone over 5'10".
No.
You can't tell anything about his speed because of the type of patterns they have him running, but he looks to have pretty good hands. McLean now to put it in play with 7 seconds left in the half. Toe into ball, and that one's going to sail down to cross at the 6. Zion straight ahead, tiptoeing into the hole, makes a cut. He's in the open, got to beat the kicker. Stops, cuts back. He's got a blocker, cuts it back to the middle of the field. He's just going to get caught from behind. And the shame there was a face mask, I think. So a little bit of excitement as Zion takes it down inside the 30. Coach McFarland sends the gang to the locker room. We've played a first half that's had a little bit of everything. And that's the end of it at 20-14. Rick's going to try and get a word with Coach McFarland on his way off the field. Rick's down there at the 45.
Coach McFarland, 20-14. Let's get your thoughts on the first half.
I'm proud of our kids. They played hard, fought football game. We're outsized a little bit, but, we're battling. And, Dalen Dowler's a pretty special running back.
Now, Coach, that when you guys went for it on your side of the field, was that a designed play, or was that something that the kids just didn't execute?
Right before the quarter?
Correct.
Well, it was just a bad call by me. But, we feel like we got to be able to get a yard, and we didn't get it.
Coach, good luck in the second half.
Yep.
Guys? Okay, thanks, Rick. Good job. And Joe Bach, some new technology working wonderfully So at the half, we'll come back after this, and you'll have the Lorain High Marching Titans.
Hi, my name is Tyler Strong. I'm 17 years old and I just finished 12th grade at Lorain High School. I was in the Welding Career Tech Education Program. I will tell you that welding is very different and very enjoyable. I wound up into welding my senior year and after my first semester and fell in love with it. It's kind of like an art. It's different every day. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give the difficulty of the program 6 to a 7. You got to keep doing it until you get it right. I did the very best I could in the welding program and it really paid off. I got admitted to Lincoln Electric Welding School, which is the leader in the world for welding products and equipment. My teacher helped me out and he called and spoke to the manager and got me into the school. My advice to anyone unsure what they want to study, it doesn't hurt to try. If you think you might like welding, take the class, check it out. What I love about welding is you can physically see the results of everything you do. It's all in your hands. I know what I'm doing with my future and I'm doing it thanks to Lorain High's Welding Manufacturing Career Tech program.
For the thousands of wounded warriors returning from battle, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a unique program that helps wounded warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. The Warriors to Work program also works with employers to find the right job for the right warrior. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
Which of the angles on the board are the one from the quiz on Friday? Jaden?
Research shows more and more 12 to 15-year-olds have arteries similar to that of a 45-year-old. But it doesn't have to be that way. Don't let your children grow up too fast. Encourage them to act their age through regular exercise and healthy eating.
Every year, the Salvation Army serves nearly 30 million people in need. That's one person every second. So by the time you've finished watching this, 30 more lives will have been changed for good. All thanks to your donations.
Thank you.
One man to beat, and they pull him down from behind. And
I'm looking for flags, and I don't see
well,
any.
it should have been one on the tackle because that sure looked like a horse collar. I mean, and I don't blame the young man for doing that, and that was a great effort to run him down inside the 15. Sideline warning now is going to be against Lorain. Here's the replay, and I was there when the coaches were talking to these guys about it. I know we call right and left, but sometimes if it's directional, you just got to hit it up there, and he did, and he burst through. And look at this speed chasing him down. Marquintez Graham unable to get there, and that was 21. Brad Kimeyu, 5'9" running back, who raced him down, and at the 14, the Titans take over with great field position. But we did this last week. We got to capitalize. We were unable to do so after the great return last week.
It was the third quarter last week, I think, that was Lorain's downfall, wasn't it?
Well, they didn't play well. There's the up and go. Going to be pass interference as Dower was pulled down, and probably a good play. Ayo Ajayi get called for the pass interference.
And, guys, real quick, before we get too far removed from that kick return, I'm going to take Tayshawn Lighty out to lunch on Tuesday because I jinxed him when I said he's gone.
Yeah.
And Jay, Coach Bauer, hold me to that, okay?
I will do so.
We'll go to Mutts at lunch.
Okay. I owe a dinner on Tuesday to Davion Dower, but it was for results on a trig test.
Great job.
First and goal at the 7. Sturgill with Dower behind him. Toss sweep with Nelson out in front. Runs into one of his linemen, Larsosa, and then gets down near the goal line. That was good patience on Dalen's part.
And it was good to have the lineman out there, but you got to put your hand on his back and just kind of follow him through.
He 73 yards unofficially in the first half. It's going to be on the 1 now.
Told you, saving that sweep for halftime.
And I guess officially that's a first down, as the penalty was not an automatic first down. Cross changes sides now. Turn, gives straight ahead. Dalen Dower to the house. 3 scores for Dalen tonight.
Yeah. I didn't see where he was in the county or the both the Chronicle and the Journal, but he is moving up there in both rushing and scoring.
Right. He was over 500 yards for the season coming in, and of course last week only 6 carries but 186. He had 42 points on 7 touchdowns, so now he has 10, and that will put him up with the leaders, as he wasn't too far from the top. Of course, depending on what other players do.
And, guys, you know, when I had a chance to visit with Coach right before the half, he made point to mention how special a ball player Dalen Dower is.
He is. And seems to have shaken off the shoulder stinger that he had in the first half. And then nothing that'll do that like a trip to the end zone. We've been told at the half, we want to apologize to the Clarkson team. We've been told that we were referring to them as the Mustangs, and they have a Canadian football team as well as an American football team. And the American football team simply goes by Football North. The Canadian team uses the Mustang or a horse as a mascot, but they are officially known as the Chargers. So we were all around it, but not accurate. And for that, we apologize. 26-14, Lorain looks for the 2. And again, as we say, these become big plays. Now double tight end. Davion Dower and, I guess not a double tight end, full backfield. It's Mincy behind Nelson. Boy, the fullback gets low. Sturgill, Mincy, tries to follow his block, gets pinballed around, and I don't think so. Maybe a yard. So...
Well, I see Tyshawn holding his head a little bit, like he didn't get in there to do the blocking like he was supposed to. But you know, keep your head up, and he's a sophomore.
Yes,
and
he
I
is.
see a lot of good things coming from him. Do we have any Lyria follows out there? Because I don't know if they know that is Tyrone Nelson's son.
I did. You know what?
Yeah.
I referred to him as Tyrone Nelson a couple times last week.
Yeah.
And, for those of you that don't know, Tyrone Nelson was the big running back at Elyria West back in the late 80s. He may have been the all-time leading rusher for Lorain County at that time. He had a great career there. I know when he retired, I think he had, or when he graduated, I think he had the biggest single game in Lorain County history, because I think Dennis Washington from Lorain High broke it, then he broke Dennis's record.
Yeah, they were going back and forth
Yes.
and back and forth and back and forth that season.
Two good running backs. Dennis Washington ended up at Michigan.
I think Tyrone went to Akron.
I believe so. So, Jeter puts foot in ball, 26-14 now. That takes some of the sting out of the one at the end of the half. Jeter, low line drive kick, bounces off a man. It's a free ball down at about the 32. Covered there by Olivier Muembi, a backup linebacker for North. But it'll be first down right at the 33.
I see what Rick was saying with Antonio Wyatt being anxious to get back there on the field.
Yep.
He was running out there high-fiving his people. He's anxious to get back on defense.
He's over the ball. Melendez and McDowell to either side. Chavis and Davion Dower, the outside backers. Kelvin Torres, Cairo Smith, the inside backers. Trips to the near side. Lots of room, but the ball was on the ground. Now it's a jailbreak, and it's up in the air. And
yeah, there's a receiver within probably 20 or 30 yards of it, so no
okay.
grounding.
There's a break maybe for North, as it was definitely put up in the air to save yardage and thrown past the line of scrimmage, which was one of the big things in the vicinity.
Here comes that little bunch. No, just trips.
Trips to the near side. Now they go in motion. That's Lehman. He goes to the wing and settles. Straight back, gives straight ahead. Big hole that time. 10, going to be about 18 on that carry before Yearwood is pulled to the ground. One of the few times they've been able to crack the center of the defense, and I think we guessed wrong. Both linebackers came to the near side, and McDowell went far side. He was on the ball that time, so Wyatt goes back over the ball. 1st and 10 at the 48 of Lorain. Straight back to Jesus to outside. And that one was intended for Mardner, and that was the easiest catch he's had all night, and he dropped it. The big 6'5", 200-pound receiver responsible for both of Clarkson's touchdowns. 10:39 to go, third quarter. Titans on top, 26-14. They took the opening kickoff back 80 yards to the Clarkson 14 and took it in from there with Dalen Dower doing the honors. Now's your bunch formation, Tom, and the Titans have had trouble with this all night. Straight back. DeJesus looks away from it. Now he comes back to it, and he's got a man picked off by Mincy on the comeback. Dakota Mincy with the big pick. Great read as Lehman was settled in there in the zone, mid-zone, and Mincy doubled back from the short zone and picked it off. Big play by Dakota
Mincy. That might be his third interception
I believe it is.
And, guys, great observation. And you can watch on the replay how Mincy did a great job reading the quarterback's eyes, drop back into zone, seeing the ball go up, making a play at the high point.
Because it was over
great
the
effort.
linebacker, Chavis. Titans out back in business at the 35, 26-14. We're a minute and a half into the third quarter, and we've had a little bit of action.
And, guys, we talked a lot about Clarkson's number 75, Tyrell Lawrence, a 6'7", 375. He's got size, but I don't know if he got that motor. Let's keep an eye on him.
Well, I know they talked about not blocking him on the wide plays. Fake to Dower. Sturgill's got it. Sturgill's in trouble, pulls it down. He's got a couple up the middle before contact. Pushes the pile forward.
I think he might have went all the way for 10 yards.
Just Justin being Justin.
I've seen him run more this game than I think he has the whole rest of the season.
He had about 95 yards in rushing last week.
So he did right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, but don't forget, you had Dower without Dower for 2.5 quarters.
Great effort there.
Justin being Justin. That's a winner's run right there. 10 yards and a first down where there was nothing. And if you see Justin in the weight room with the big lineman, that's who he's lifting with.
Yeah.
Quick out to Dalen Dower. Dalen Dower gets a
nice
corner.
Dalen
Dower, stiff arm. Dalen Dower down the sidelines. Dalen Dower to the house.
You know, I didn't want to jinx him like Rick did with Tyshawn, because I said, I seen him out there in that slot. Why would they put him in a slot but to get him the ball in space, which they did?
Now, I'm not sure if this is a run or a pass. We're going to have to look at it on the replay. I know it's points.
Great block by Nolan on the outside,
It
too.
sure was. Good observation,
Yes.
Rick. How close to that were you? Was it a forward pass or a...
It looked like a lateral to me.
Yeah, I think it was.
I'm sure it was, looking at the replay. I'm going to call it a run.
Hey, Dalen's going to appreciate that. Make sure we mark that down as a run.
Yep.
I don't know who sends the stats
I think
over
it's
to the
our
paper.
friend next door.
Okay, well, then make sure he knows too.
Sturgill in the gun now with Nelson and Chavis next to him. Sophomores everywhere. Straight back, looks to throw, wants the out, has a man. Conversion good, Zion Cross.
Love the execution on that play, guys.
Yeah, all of a sudden, we're back 20 points ahead at 34-14.
You know, sometimes, guys, I wonder if, the fans in the stands realize that we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't see how they're not. I don't know if they get it, but we're very talented on this squad.
And, you could hear the grumbling and mumbling in the stands at halftime about that's definitely a lateral. Nice job on the camera work, guys. And Dower with the big stiff arm just popped somebody, and away he goes. And Dalen Dower would not be in a mismatch with Tyshawn Lighty and Zion Cross in the 100 meters.
And, guys, the big thing down here that everybody talks about is Dalen has Saturday speed. And if you don't know what Saturday speed is, you check your local listings, ABC, for the Big Ten, any of the big colleges, because they know who that young man is.
Yes, they do.
I like that term, Saturday fleet. Be playing on Saturday.
Yep.
Coach, I give you all those little one-liners.
Okay.
Caesar Jeter squibs it, bouncing down to the 20 where it's botched around and then picked up by Nasoba. And he's gang tackled at about the 32, so they accomplish the same thing in a different manner this time, as Clarkson once again will go 1st and 10 at the 32. Matt Weatherspoon, number 12, first one down. 34-14. Titans opening up a little room.
And Jay also on the bottom of that pile is number 37. I only have two deeps down here. He's got a cast on his hand.
Dylan Blakely, the sophomore with the cast. Yeah, I was going to say he's the one with the cast. Has to get checked out every week by the officials to make sure it's okay for him to play. It's safe. Whistle, timeout officials. Melendez didn't have his chin strap buckled, so he's going to have to leave. And that's going to force Big Tone back. I don't know if that Clarkson's going to be too happy with that switch.
Nate wears it like a do-rag or a headband.
Okay, and that could be what it is.
Exactly what it is. Just toss it on the side.
Anything that pops out of the back of their helmet, they have to come out for a play.
Okay.
I found that out in the 9th grade game last night.
Okay, and I was going to say I said it happened about 15 times last night. Give straight ahead. Yearwood got about 8 up the gut. Kelvin Torres there, save on Chavis. But that's what happens when the nose man guesses wrong. Now there's a whistle.
Don't make him run too far, Coach.
McDowell lost his helmet, so they're making him come off the play,
Aaron
guys.
McDowell, or Isaiah McDowell, excuse me. I know I'll hear about that. Isaiah has to come out because he lost his helmet. So he's got to sit a play. Trips to the near side. Ball in the middle of the field. Gamblers down. High snap. Oh! Let's see what that one is.
We got the ball.
That's a free ball now. Let's see what the call is.
I got a call. Fumble the way they were.
We need a pointer. We need a pointer.
And I hope he's.
There's one. First down, Titans.
I never believe pointers unless they got a striped shirt on.
And how about Malik McCall getting off the bottom with that one? But who had the big hit?
That was Torres, guys. I felt that
Kelvin,
one.
Yeah. Ooh. Hit of the week so far for Kelvin Torres. Here it is on replay.
It was a high snap,
and it's a jailbreak right up the middle. And that was less of a fumble than the one in the first half.
I know.
But I'm biased.
And guys, like I said, we're good.
Yeah.
We're in position again at the 41 of Clarkson. Rogers has him over the ball. Rogers, Larson, and Wilson on the near side. Alzier and Larsosa are the far side of the line. Nelson and then Mincy behind Sturgill. Jordan Jackson out wide this side with Cross inside of him. Jermel Nolan to the top. Jordan, of course, the backup quarterback, but they're giving him some reps just because Sturgill had problems with the handoff there as he was going to try and keep it off the option, and they just that handoff is it's such a good fake that the running back doesn't know to let it go. And I think that's what happened here as we get a look. Nelson took it. It was put right in the belly, and he tried to keep it, and Justin had it and lost it, actually. It was on the ground, and Sturgill recovered. 2nd and 12. Toss sweep. Mincy cuts it up. Good cut. Dakota Mincy across the 35 down to the 33.
I always like the way you run that sweep. You have to eventually start going north. You just can't always go east.
You know, Dakota Mincy's a senior. He understands that every play is not a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And you get what you can, and you live to play another down, and it's 3rd and 7 now because of the 5-yard gain there, getting the loss back. Sturgill was over near the sidelines.
Just getting some a pointer, what to call.
Yeah. Nelson and Mincy behind him. Now Sturgill's going to go to the gun, and they're going to go to the pistol.
Man across the board, guys.
Yep. Sturgill has an out pattern. It wanted Nolan. No. Ball was touched at the line, which is why there was no problem with the contact on the pass. But it'll be 4th and 7.
Guys, I think if Coach Eddie Hall could have that series of downs over again, I think he would have went up top on the first play right after the big turnover.
That was, that's what everyone says. The big, that's when everyone's heads down. So that's when you go for all the marbles.
Well, they're going to go for it on 4th down. Same formation. Davion Dower and Cross out here.
I'm looking at Cross on the little bubble. Nope.
Screen. Swung it out to Mincy and blown dead as a forward pass. He had lots of stripes in front of him. The ball was just behind him. If Dakota could have come down with that, we'd have picked up the first down. Instead, we turn it over on downs at the 34, which is just about where we picked it up.
And, guys, I look as the Titans come out on the field on defense. You got McCall, McDowell, and Melendez as your down linemen. And one thing that Coach Wilt challenged these 3 athletes is to be great this week. He really challenged McDowell, expects a lot out of both him and Melendez.
They sure do. And then you got Torres and Cairo Smith behind him. They've got as much size as the defenders on the line. And, contact from
that was because
Stray Dog.
McDowell was on his knee like a mad dog.
That's what he wants. Coaches call him Stray Dog. And Chavis read it really well and was out there where if it hadn't been underthrown, he might have had a play on the ball. And I don't know how McDowell got through there, but it was quick. And Chavis had a read on that for Lehman. And in any event, incomplete, 2nd and 10.
I think that's that dancing before the music again.
You know what? This is a different quarterback. This is Connor Irwin Lewis, number 12. Now, I'm not sure what might have happened with DeJesus, if he's benched for being ineffective or there was an injury. And I just noticed that it was 12 rather than 11. Yeah.
And, guys, remember, he took that big shot from Torres on that last possession.
Yes, he did. That's a good call, Rick. That's why the change. So this is actually their 3rd quarterback. We have no grades on these young men. We just have heights and weights. I think that snap was late, and I think it's going to be 5 more. Yep. Procedure against. The center says it can't be on me. I didn't move. Everybody else did. And what's interesting about that is you usually, when the ball is in the gun, don't you usually go on the movement of the ball?
Yeah. But sometimes that quarterback makes a little slap or something like that, and you start to get used to it.
You use the silent count, and you try to time it from the slap, I guess. See newlywed Kevin Patterson down in the bleachers. Congratulations to him and his bride. There's a deep out. Dower on the coverage of Brendan Barrow, Clark Barnes, number 9, but they overthrew him. 3rd and 20, and I think that we might see Mr. McLean. Maybe not.
When you're down by 3 scores.
7.5 to go. You got a quarter and a half, almost a little bit more, actually.
But when you have 22 yards to go.
That's what it's only 3rd down. Okay, they switched the box early, so that's my bad. They had the 2 penalties. It was just a lot of 2nd downs. They sort him out here. Dower comes out on the big receiver, slant over the middle, and they had it. Pressure up the gut was from Melendez that time, and he got tied up with a couple of linemen.
Guys, since the Clarkson's come out on the field in the second half, they have not had a clean pocket as they've tried to throw the ball. So give it credit to that front 7 of the Titans.
Well, speed kills. Now, Rick, maybe you can find out for us who number 13 is, who just came on the field replacing Dower. That's, the up.
Looks like Manning.
It could be Javon Manning. He
has a different number every game.
Yeah. Davion Dower had an opportunity but got out of the way, thankfully. And they're going to let the punt roll dead to the 29. And, if we look at this, depending on where the replay is at, if we look at Davion, he had a chance to go for the block, but discretion being the better part, passed it up, and the Titans will take the ball and run the clock some. Here's the look. Comes clean, goes in between the personal protectors, and he had a chance to lay out for it, but I don't think he felt that he had the angle that he could do it at.
And you don't want to run into a kicker's
leg. What you don't want to do is wake up a sleeping dog.
Yeah.
And right now, that's what we've got is Football North is having the worst of it here in the 3rd quarter in the 5 minutes that we've played. That's Nelson and Chavis behind Sturgill. That's out to Lighty. Lighty with a blocker. That's Jordan Jackson. Lighty splits. That was Davion Dower, 2, not 5. Tyshawn Lighty out for about 9. And slow to get up is Kevin Nasaba, the cornerback for North.
One thing that's a nice evolution of a ball player that we get to witness since last year is Davion Dower went from quarterback to wide receiver. And for how physical he is at the wide receiver position, is not something you see all the time.
And linebacker. Let's not forget that he's playing every play both ways. Yeah,
absolutely.
And you know what? He could have blown the team apart last year when that switch was made. But, credit Davion growing as a person and a leader for for a lot of the success that they had with Justin Sturgill at quarterback, because he accepted that and changed positions and was a real team kind of guy in that position.
And made a lot of contributions out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I can remember last year toward the end of the season saying if Davion Dower continues to grow, Bill Groom saying he's going to make a heck of an outside linebacker for us.
And he did.
And we've seen that contribution from him.
Yeah, back in the old days, he had been an excellent anchor end on our 5-2.
Right. Dower carrying his helmet on the sidelines right now as the offense goes back on the field. I think they're just giving him a little bit of a blow as he called for a rest on that punt. And they've got him, nothing appears wrong, just walking around drinking a little bit of water and catching his breath. Well, when you play quick, there's a lot of there's a lot of plays. Although not as many as last week. Last week we had all kinds of plays. I remember Garfield Heights had 61 plays at the end of the 3rd quarter.
Wow.
Of course, and threw the ball 55 times in the game. Turn, give straight ahead. That's Chavis, big hole out near the 50 to the 49.
And Jay, you talked earlier in the broadcast how Lorain doesn't have that thumper. Maybe Chavis could be that thumper, the closeout guy.
Well, he can develop. We saw another Chavis develop into it, and You know, he was an excellent
Yes.
running back as a sophomore, too. Savon would be the starting running back on a lot of teams. He's just got other things that he can do to help. Remember, he started as a safety and was moved to linebacker to fill a gap there.
And then he played cornerback in that championship game last year, the playoff game.
Sturgill, pump and go, has a man, Nolan. Nolan makes one man miss, caught from behind inside the 30. Jermel Nolan with the big play. And boy, talk about good awareness.
Yes.
He made the catch and stopped and let the defender run by and got to the 30 before caught from behind. Here it is again. Sturgill pumps out wide and then throws the deep slant. One man passed and picks up another 6 yards. 1st and 10 at the 30. The Titans are huddling just because the clock is their friend. Plus 20. 34-14. Those splits are getting tighter in the line, it seems. Bump and run coverage. Lighty can run by if he wants. Chavis. Chavis spins, gets 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice finish there. Rick, it looks like those interior guys are really winning the battle.
Yeah, it all starts up front at the point of attack with Rashawn Rogers, Larson, and Alzier. They're doing a great job controlling their men. And, you know, in this zone blocking scheme that we use at Lorain, if they don't ask this kid just man-on-man, use what you got from the weight room from the year prior, muscle up on somebody, and move a body, and that's what they do.
And, you know, if you watch these guys in the weight room, you can see why they can move a body because they're big and strong.
And athletic.
Yes.
Very athletic.
Sturgill, 4:45 to go, third quarter. Looks for the play clock even there. Turns, fakes, going to roll out, pull it down, trying to work ahead, and he's got the first down inside the 30.
I couldn't see it.
You know what? Live to play another day. He didn't have what he was looking for, and I think he was looking for Tyshawn Lighty deep. And he pulled it down and moves the sticks. And that winds the clock. And here we go. 4:29. Dower near side. Lighty and Nolan to the far side. Again, he's just waiting for the official in the back to put his, there it is, 5 seconds on the play clock. Snap, Mincy. Mincy in the hole. Mincy down to about the 27, gain of a couple.
This is one of those, you know, if it was the fourth quarter, I called it death march.
Well, the other situation is if you're Clarkson, you're looking across there thinking, you know, Dower's not even on the field right now, and neither is Cross.
Yeah.
You know, they got weapons they haven't even loaded yet.
Yeah, these Titans, they come in waves, don't they?
Now, Mincy out, Chavis in. No hurry. Sturgill straight back, wants a bunch, got the bunch. Tyshawn Lighty. That was a well-thrown ball and a nice route.
Nice run, right up the middle.
A 17-yard pass.
There's a flag on the field, though.
Where? Oh, yeah, it's back where the quarterback was.
Isn't that kind of where usually there's a roughing the passer? Yep.
Roughing the passer. It's going to be enforced on the kickoff.
You see that replay there. Nice 5-step drop by Justin. Planted his back foot. Boom, comes out on time. And nice post route ran there by
what the Titans are finding out now is if, you know, that the Canadians frustrate just like the Americans do if you come out in the third quarter and score 3 touchdowns. And that's what Lorain has done here, is they took a 20-14 lead and have burst it open.
New formation, guys.
Yeah, well, yeah. Trips to the far side. Davion all alone. He might try the slant to the – nope, it's going to be the option. Chavis gets the pitch. Chavis gets the 2.
Great play design.
That was. So, with all that extra point, the Titans get back on schedule.
Well, there are. That's it.
42-14, Lorain.
I just counting those up. You miss 3, you get 3, you're equal.
Yep. And they'll have the advantage of
Someone's
extra
getting off the
50.
field a little slower.
That's Tyshawn Nelson.
Nelson, yep.
And if there's one thing we don't need, it's any more injuries at that position.
Yeah, it looks like he's grabbing his hand.
Which is not a good thing for a running back. You know, Justin Sturgill, as a quarterback, I mean, you can mark him down as a winner. He doesn't have the strongest arm in the world. He's not the fastest runner, but he makes good decisions.
Yeah.
And
you always want to pick the brainiest kid on your team to be quarterback.
Absolutely. That's his first touchdown pass of the night. But once again, what he's done is he's taken care of the football. And he's made plays to allow you to be in a position to win. Nelson off on the sideline. Maybe I'm hoping he just got stepped on. Because the other one of the other options is getting it caught between two helmets, and that is painful. And it looks like it's more of his wrist that he's holding.
I was thinking maybe Bartlome would come out here for the onside specialist.
I think they'd be very happy if Caesar put this one in the concession stand.
Yeah.
Jeter from the 45. End over end kick down to the 5. Brought back from there. Oh boy. One of the few times all year the Titans broke coverage, and Kevin Nasoba is going to go 95 yards.
Oh, call it back. Call it back. There was some,
Is that what that is? I saw a Titan on his back, and I'm talking 40 yards from the play. The flag is at the 49. The runner had to be at the 10.
Yeah.
This has just got to be frustration. I see one of the Clarkson players walking to the sideline. Personal foul, Clarkson.
You're not supposed to say anything really negative, but that was a cheap shot. Believe me, I seen it.
I saw the Titan, and it was 82 Elias Lopez kind of land in a three-point stance, two shoulders in a helmet. And it was totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, just this physical play by the Titans are causing this to happen. You can see it on the replay.
One of the few times they didn't hold their lanes, and he found a crack. And now, see, the penalty is happening right about now.
Yeah.
And it was at the 50. So it was totally unnecessary. And just like in Lorain, I'm sure that in Canada that young man will hear about it during films.
I bet you he's hearing about it right now first.
So 1st and 10 at the 34. Titans dodge a bullet. And that'll give them something to talk about during films this week, too, because their lane integrity's been pretty good on kickoff.
Wow. There's another hit.
That was Cairo Smith.
Yes.
Cairo Smith introduced himself to Brendan Barrow, and the result was a loss of 1. And for you young linebackers, that's how you fill a hole.
I don't think it was a blitz. I think he just read that.
I just think he filled the hole.
Yeah. Now you don't have to clap and taunt him. Just say, I'll be back. Yeah.
I was going to say that we don't need. The enthusiastic face clap toward the huddle. McDowell's over the ball now. Big tone on the near side. There's the give straight ahead. That's a good move to the outside, and he's got some room to run. Stop and go around Lighty. Still going down inside the 20.
Torres and McDowell are the ones chasing that play down from the backside.
Chavis was down there as well as McDowell, I see, and Dalen Dower. But the move that he puts on Tyshawn Lighty here is a big-time move along the sidelines. Remember, this is their second running back now. There's Lighty, got an angle, and whoops. Stop and go, got around him. Erwin Lewis is the quarterback. That was Brendan Barrow on that one. Now he wants to throw the fade. He's got it again. And there it is again. For the third time tonight, number 1, Nick Mardner is in the end zone for the Clarkson score.
I don't care who covers him. You can't.
Unless you're going to give him a broom.
Yeah, you can't cover 6'5", 5'10" with a kid who can jump and catch.
This is when you wish you had Deshaun Brooks for one more year.
Yes.
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 So that really settled things down here in the crowd. 42-20. McLean in to attempt the conversion. And that changes your thinking. Torres with a running start, but that one's way over the band out onto the track. 42-21. Fourth touchdown of the quarter. 3 of them have been on the Lorain side of things, though. And that one, the long run, you know, first off, that was just kind of one of those fate things. They had the kickoff return that was called back, but they didn't let that deter anything. And they went the entire way on the ground other than that last pass. And that young man, Nick Mardner, 6'5", 200 pounds, has his third touchdown. And as a result of perfect throws and being taller than everybody else out there. And
great hands.
Yeah, well,
great hands.
Right.
You know.
But you can have great hands and be 5'9" and not make that catch. So Clarkson will put it in play from the 40. This is Chris McLean, punter, place kicker, kickoff specialist.
Wasn't there a rule made where you had to have equal numbers on both sides of the ball in a kickoff?
And that may be at some level. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I don't know.
Maybe it's just NFL rules.
Maybe it is, yeah. And I think that was to prevent some of those scrums on the onside kick. That is high. That is spinning. That is down into the end zone. Good decision by Tyshawn Lighty.
Yeah.
He could have probably played that from the 1, but why bother when it's head high?
Yeah.
So it'll come out to the 20.
I always love to see him catch one and take it all the way back.
I'd like to see him run it in open field, and he electrified us at the beginning of the half with an 80-yard return. And I'm sure when they go over films, he's going to catch a little grief about getting caught from behind by his buddies Cross and Dower.
You know, guys, I had a chance to talk to Lighty about that. He said his foot cramped up. That's what he told me.
Well, that's what he'll tell them, too. That's a good story, and he's sticking to it.
I wasn't buying it, so I know they're not.
Because it was sure looked good on that last touchdown.
Yeah.
Sturgill under center. Nelson and Dower behind him. Now Dalen back in at running back. Cross and Davion Dower out to the near side. Jermel Nolan to the far side. He had a big catch in that last drive. Turn, toss, sweep, Dower. Dower cuts it up. Dower's got 5. Dower cuts it back. Dower's looking for another good cut.
Well,
Dower's out to the 38 on an 18-yard gain.
I thought he was going to run all the way to the sideline and get caught, but he faked that and went up the middle.
Tom, I'm going to mention a name that only you and I are old enough to remember. But you remember the name Crazy Legs Hirsch?
Oh, sure.
Well,
yeah,
if
Ohio
you see
State,
Dalen's legs on this play, they're going 3 different directions.
Yes.
There it is, and he hits the hole, and now he crosses over twice. And here's another big crossover and a jab. 1st and 10 at the 39. Turn, Mincy. Mincy pushes the pile over the 40 to about the 41. Minute 45 and the clock ticking. And as we saw in the last series, 3 touchdowns against Clarkson. They can score in a hurry.
And Nelson's back in the game, guys, so that's always good to see.
Oh, that is a good sign.
Good.
But like I say, you go for 18 or 19 with Dower there, and then boom, back comes Mincy. And about time Mincy gets hired, back comes Chavis.
Nothing better than a fresh tailback.
And 2 weeks ago, Mikey Harrell had 90 yards and a big run from the fullback position before separating his shoulder. Now it's Nelson at fullback. Turn. That's a lateral to Cross. Cross drops the football and falls on it. Got it popped loose. Going to be no gain on the play. And he might have knocked the wind out of himself landing on that ball. Now he's pumping a leg like it's a cramp maybe. There's the play, and there it's taken out of his hand. And now he landed okay on it. I'm going to guess that the way he's kicking and wiggling, he's cramped up.
Yeah.
Tracy Menges and the training staff out to look at him.
You know, we talk about cramps, and how to do it. But those muscular teenagers, I mean, muscles cramp, not
yeah, that's not something that happens to me unless it's I roll over funny in bed anymore.
Yeah.
But these.
Yeah, when you have nothing but muscles and probably almost zero body fat.
I was going to say Zion Cross.
Yeah.
Is, and there's a bunch of them. Dalen Dower specifically being another one with very, very little body fat.
Yes.
Zion coming off, and I can't tell. He's favoring, it looks like, his left arm. Gets a pat on the back from the Soba of Clarkson.
Yeah, Zion looks okay. He just squirted one of the water girls in the face, so
okay,
he should be all right. Look like a little stinger again.
Okay, that part of him's okay, huh? So 3rd and 8 at the 41. Clock running with 45 seconds to go. Now he sends Dower out to put twins to each side with Nelson only behind him. I wouldn't be surprised to see Nelson on a quick hitter right over David Larson. There is nobody home. Nope. There's the pump and go, and Justin with nowhere to go fumbles the football, and it's still free. It's still free. This is going to be
back there fighting for it.
Lars Sosa was out there fighting for it. He's on the bottom of the pile, but it got taken away.
Justin Sturgill was back there being a peacemaker.
Brad Kameu, number 21, ended up on it.
Yeah. Justin went back to one of the Clarkson players and, ease up, let's play a game.
Here it is again, and let's see what happened with the ball. As I thought, okay, he was down on top of a man when it's popped free. I was going to say I thought he was down by contact, but he was on top of the defender.
I think someone just ripped the ball.
It got ripped away.
I think they probably work on that, ripping the ball out of the hands, rip and run.
A lot of teams do.
Yeah.
Including the one in blue.
And now you got McDowell at the end, Antonio White up front.
You got trips to the short side in that bunch formation. The Titans haven't seen this one yet. Now there's a timeout. And it's Clarkson that takes the timeout. That's kind of an advantage Lorain there, as they were running a formation to the short side that they hadn't done all night. So I'm sure that Coach Wilt is glad for the opportunity to talk about it.
Well, they had Marner over here in the bunch. Usually he's the one that's isolated by himself. And maybe that's the mistake.
Okay, 19 seconds to go in the third quarter. Lorain fumble has Clarkson in business at their 47. 1st and 10. 42-21 Lorain. And it was basically a 22-7 third quarter that got us where we're at. Clarkson comes out now, 3 to the near side, but Mardner is all alone with Cross, and then over the top is Tyshawn Nelson. There's got to be something available over here, and there it is in between. He just threw it too far. Intended for Lehman. Helped up by Davion Dower. That's just a very tough formation for Lorain to cover without bringing the safety farther over.
And you got to keep the safety over Marner because he's the receiver. That's what they want you to do.
They've got Lighty over top of Cross out there for Mardner.
See, now Mardner's on this side over here.
But it causes he is. Now
because
now you got to bring
Dalen he's motioning to someone. He sees what's happening.
Yep. There's a give straight ahead, and that's right behind where they had to stack the defensive backs. Knocked out of bounds, 8 seconds to go in the quarter at about the 45 of Lorain, which is going to make it 3rd and 2. Let's see where they spot that.
Dakota's getting up a little slow, but I think he's take a little break.
Looks like maybe his hand got stepped on there as he was shaking it out. Spot it right at the 45, so 2.5 should be the last play of the quarter. 8 seconds and the clock stopped on the out of bounds. Whistle now. Somebody's going to get called for an equipment violation.
One play.
Mardner's got to go out for a play.
See how he signaled one? I think that means one play.
Yeah. And like I say, I haven't noticed that all year, Tom.
I didn't notice
it. I noticed it until yesterday.
Yeah,
boy, I don't know whether it was a point of emphasis from the OHSA there. Nasuba set up offside and was signaled back by the official. Straight back run. That's Yearwood. He's inside the 40 for the first down. Clock stops with 3 seconds to go in the quarter. McDowell and Davion Dower there on the tackle, along with Nate Melendez.
You see, as soon as they set these sticks
they
here.
wind the clock, and that'll do it. We've played 3 at the George. Lorain, 42. Football North, 21. Back with more after this timeout.
Inspiring city and campus. Inspiring people. Inspiring creativity. Inspiring hands-on learning. Inspiring global experiences. Inspiring traditions. Be a Buckeye. Inspire.
I started mentoring my mentee, Dontre, 4 years ago. I always thought about doing it. It always seemed like a good idea.
We were both nervous when we first met, but everything kind of fell into place.
Mentoring is important to anyone that's pretty fortunate in life to have a little bit of time to pass on that knowledge.
Etienne's a very close friend. I look at him as a brother and a father figure. He taught me just focus on the big picture because I would like to give back just like Etienne gave back to me. Be someone who matters to someone who matters.
Opportunities present themselves every day. Opportunities that move us forward. Opportunities to serve part-time in your community while continuing their full-time careers or education to help keep our nation safe at home and around the globe. Explore your opportunities in the Air Force Reserve.
Okay, 1st and 10 Clarkson on the 39 of the Titans to open the fourth quarter. Lorain up 3 scores. Pass knocked away there nicely by Tyshawn Nelson. Tried to hit the in-between man, which looked to have been 19, Joseph Walker. They got a bunch of guys that they use as targets.
And on that play, guys, Torres came unblocked, and I feel bad for the running back who tried to take him on, and he got to meet Mr. Torres man-to-man.
Now Wyatt's coming off for a play.
And Wyatt's not real happy about it.
And he's going to the bench. I don't know. There's no flag.
That might be one of those referees sent him to the bench to cool him off a little bit too.
Coach Joyner is over there talking to him along with Rashawn Rogers. 2nd and 10. So it's Melendez, McCall, and McDowell, the front line and law firm. Lehman shifts. Yearwood busts it to the outside, upended there. Dalen Dower on the tackle, but give him 9. Now let's make it 8. 3rd and 2. You know, aside from the fades to Mardner, they haven't completed a lot of passes, but it's opened up their running game as Yearwood has had a lot more room in this second half, both Yearwood and Barrow. And this just happens to be Yearwood behind Erwin Lewis. Straight back, wants to throw an out, got an out. Not sure if it was caught in bounds. It was. Lehman has it. One of the Titans tried to undercut the route. It looked like Mincy.
He's the best secondary person we have to do that.
Yes, and it was a great throw because it was on a line.
Guys, number 38 just checked in for the Titans.
Yeah, because
Michael Smith.
McCall just checked out, holding his hand or arm.
Just getting a little thin on the defensive front. Now Big Tone is up and walking around. Give straight ahead Yearwood. Yearwood's got, there's a flag. Dragged to the ground by Kelvin Torres. But there is a flag over here. It's going to be on North.
Looked like a holding penalty.
Well, it came from way out here. One of the holding. Good call.
Who called the timeout? Did we see?
There's an injured.
Oh, I see.
There's an injured northerner.
I see him
on
there,
the field. The penalty should be assessed from the 30, which is where the flag is.
Guys, real quick question. With them playing this team from Canada, does it have any bearing on any type of computer points?
Well, it does. And the way it was explained to me is we only get second-level points from them for the Ohio teams, I believe, that they beat, or the American teams.
And coming into tonight, they had beaten Cleveland Heights, correct?
Correct, yes. And they had beaten Erie Cathedral Prep. Now, I don't know how that works, beating an out-of-state team. But Brian Corey was trying to explain it to me, and that's how I got it. It also changes the divisor somehow.
I think that is more so than that. I think they divide by 99
It's not a penalty as much as it could be.
Because Eds and Ignatius play a lot of out-of-state teams a lot of times.
Yeah, I was going to say, because some of the bigger parochials are having problems now finding teams to play. You know who else? Steubenville plays a lot of out-of-state schools.
Yeah, just because they're close
they can play
to Pennsylvania,
home,
West
too.
Virginia.
40-yard line, the ball spotted, 1st and 21 now. Clock spinning at 10:55. Clarkson up over the ball with 3 to the near side. 42-21 Titans. McDowell over the ball. Big Tone back in at the far side, I believe. Pass over the middle, picked. This has got a chance. This is Dakota Mincy. Secret weapon gets a block. One man to beat. It's the quarterback, and Mincy spun out of bounds at the 25.
He has to credit McDowell for about 30 of those yards after that block.
Those are our turnover guys, too.
Yeah.
And, guys, when we look at this replay, you're going to see the tip drill work to perfection.
Oh, it sure did. Who got the hand?
Man, Jay, I don't remember who it was. I want to say it was Leidy, but let's check it out.
And that's the number that sticks in my mind, too. Straight back, good protection. It was Chavis. I believe it was Savon Chavis coming back from his linebacker spot. But in any event, the Titans turned the ball over again and are in business at the 25, looking for something to put this one away. Nolan and Leidy out to the far side. Let's see if they go for the throat here. Nope, straight back. Dalen Dower. That can be considered going for the throat, but hit and held to no gain for one of the few times. Our gentleman on the stick is jumping the gun, moving it back here. As he was back at the 26, but no gain whatsoever. But about 40 seconds off the clock. And Titans walking to the line out of the huddle. Jordan Jackson, number 5. He's a tall, lanky wide receiver, backup quarterback. He'll play tomorrow in the JV game as they host tomorrow Erie Cathedral Prep, the JVs. Sturgill wants it all for Dalen Dower.
Yeah.
And Sturgill ended up on his back with a northerner on top of him.
He helped him up.
Yeah. The sportsmanship tonight has been unbelievable on both parts. I've seen.
Except maybe a little bit in that interior line where they're banging heads, constantly.
But I've seen the pats on the back and the helmet taps from both sides. A guy will make a play and then pat the guy on or he'll get a pat on the helmet from the other guy. I saw it between Nasoba and Cross a couple times earlier in the half. Jackson's out all alone now with Nasoba on him. Nolan and Leidy on the far side. 3rd and 10. Chavis dropped the football and just fell on it.
And they're still jumping around.
Yeah, he didn't grab that one, guys.
He didn't?
Turnover.
Tried to fall on it. No indication yet from anybody in stripes.
All 4th down, he did fall back on. I apologize.
Okay. Yeah.
And it might have been Larsosa. The way Rogers was kind of patting him on the back, it might have been Big Gabe. 9:43, that stops the clock on the confusion. 4th and 10. Coach is on the sidelines calling for the clock to be wound. Doesn't start the clock because of the straight back. Sturgill wants it all. Got a man in between. Nolan had it knocked away. Jermel made a good play on the ball. It
Double
was
covered. Yeah.
More of a prayer, as I think what happened was the outside man came off a lighty and came over to squeeze him. And without that, maybe it was a catch. But the Titans turn it over on downs at the 25. Clarkson 1st and 10.
If we get that replay back, Justin twirled the ball twice in his hand to get the laces, man, to get it set, and then he threw it off a little bit late into that double cover. Check it out.
It's becoming a habit.
Watch him twirl the ball.
Yeah, twice. You're right. And, you know, that was kind of, if they intercepted it, it's going to be farther back than it is now. So North takes over, 1st and 10 at their 25. Erwin Lewis is the quarterback. Give straight ahead. That is 8. Barrow, the running back, he's out near the 30 for about 4.
I think McCall had him first.
Chavis is under
Maybe
there. McCall
Smith
is under there.
And Big Wyatt as well.
And Big Wyatt. And there's a flag. We don't know what this is. As you said, Tom, there's been some talking and some jawing in those piles. Personal foul. It's a push, and I think that somebody pushed Big Wyatt down.
Yeah, that's where the competition is. 330. I'm 330. It's macho on macho.
Well, and they're so close together. There's a lot of talking going on down there. And this is going to be half the distance from the 25. It should go back to about the 12.
And Coach Bauer, as you know, what happens in the trenches, it stays in the trenches.
It's going to be from where the play ended, so it's going to be
spoken
after
from
the play.
A true guard.
So instead of 2nd and 6, it's 2nd and 20. Erwin Lewis brings Lehman in, sets him on the wing. Turn, fakes to Barrow, now wants to throw the little swing pass out to Barrow. Barrow gets McDowell trying to force him back in, and he comes back in happily, and he's pulled down. Chavis up high and Melendez down low. Grab him at about the 23. Going to get most of the penalty yards back. 3rd and 12, 8:37 to go.
Guys, I know it's 42-21, but I'm going to call that the play of the game right there because McDowell did not get sucked in like every week's in the past I've been with the screen game.
Yes.
Great read and recognition by the young man, something that Coach Will talked to me about during the week that he was going to coach him up on. He did a great job right there.
Isaiah's very coachable. He knows what's going on out there. Straight back, Connor Lewis wants a lot. Got a man. Incomplete. The cross was step for step with Barnes and Lighty coming over. And the ball was a little too long. Now there's some jawing going back and forth between the secondary guys and the bench.
And if we get a replay of that play, guys, you'll see where McDowell is actually drawing a double team.
Yeah, I was just going to get ready to say that. And they didn't declean him either.
Right.
Like, watch.
Well, that.
Oh, and he's getting held.
Yeah, he's getting tackled. Forget about a double team.
That's one of those plays that Coach Groom's going to run back a couple times to show at all levels that, hey, this is the type of intensity. When you're this small and you're getting double team, you're an hombre.
Timeout Clarkson. And, to continue that, what the Titans do defensively with their man on the ball is they either call right or left. That's as complicated as it gets for the nose man. And his job is to take two guys, to split the guard in the center.
Mm-hmm.
And, there it was, executed to perfection to the point that the guard had to come down on Isaiah and stood him up with a rodeo move.
Yeah. Well, I've seen a couple times where Smith would tap wide on a butt which side he wanted him to go on.
But that's all they ask of that nose man is go right or go left. Take two men.
And guys, how much would we even really be saying of Isaiah McDowell if it wasn't for that injury to Patton on the offensive line?
Yeah, because Aaron Patton gets hurt in the second quarter of the first game, and Gabe Larsosa moves from nose over to offensive tackle. The offense hasn't missed a beat, and Aaron McDowell has come in as a regular on the defensive line.
No one's deep to return his punt.
high snap, perfect punt away. Well, you can't fumble what you don't touch. A little bit of a sideways bounce to the 36 where it's touchdown. And that's smart football right there. You can't even take a chance of getting hit.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
7:56 to go. Titans up 21. The clock is their friend.
This is the death march when you go play after play after play on the ground, if it happens.
Where the Avon Eagles are exercising some demons tonight, Tom. I know it won't be news when people see this, but 42-14 atop Midview in the fourth quarter.
And guys, I know both Coach Elder and Coach Shaw from working on WOBL, and that one is a very testy matchup.
Right, that's
from
what
both coaches.
Yes,
that's what I mean. They've exercised some demons.
Exactly.
Well, when you're as good as those two programs have been in the last 7 or 8 years, that natural rivalry becomes a little bit more when you're playing to see who's 9-1 and who's 10-0. Pass out to Nolan on the bubble screen. Jermel makes a move. Jermel's got about 6 or 7 and stays. The good thing there that he did with that, whether he was coached to or not, was he cut it to the middle.
Yeah, stayed down.
And made sure that he was going to stay in bounds. And let's see where they spot it. Well, they spotted at the 42, so it's going to be a gain of 5. 2nd and 5 now. Off comes Dower. Chavis is in at tailback. Jackson out here with Lighty, but they're going to go to the huddle. And why not? The clock's moving, 7:15 to go. And as we say, the clock is your friend when you're up 21. Our friends from Broadway, the Clearview Clippers, went to 4-1 tonight with a win. There's a whistle.
Yeah, I think they had to call timeout because of the clock.
Because of the play clock. Okay. 6:59 to go. Fourth quarter. And Titans look to be well on their way to 4-1 and ready to go into the conference schedule.
Yeah.
And
that's,
in the course of the conference, if the local rankings are to believe, the conference runs through Bedford.
It does.
And that's the next Titan road game is Week 9 at Bedford. And I know that's Joe Bach's favorite place to go. And that close to Halloween, Joe, they ought to have all your favorite stuff.
What's really nice about going to Bedford is that Mr. Chicken right down the street from there.
I've got a good Mr. Chicken story.
I'm excited to hear it.
Okay. Toss sweep. That's Dower. He came back in, cut it up. And there's the flag for the horse collar. As Dalen got thrown to the ground by 48, Ife Oneyaman. I knew he was going to make a tackle. I said to myself this afternoon, please don't let 48 make a play.
Just call him A.O.
Well, this is Io. First name is Ife, I-F-E. Last name is Onyemenam.
Yeah, you're right.
Pat, can I buy a vowel?
I used them all. Well, my Mr. Chicken story is several years ago went to the Bedford Lorain basketball game with some good friends of mine, Roger Wilhelm, George Corey, Joe Kazura, and we were sitting there, and we all bought 50-50 tickets, as we are wont to do, and they call out 4 numbers for the 50-50, and my number was the first number, and I won $125, and Roger Wilhelm's number was the second number, and he was all excited, and he got a bucket of Mr. Chicken. Which, when you're on the they're on the east side and we're on the west side, doesn't do you a whole lot of good. 2nd and 18 following the flag, which was against the Titans, interestingly enough. I'm not sure what happened.
So it was a coupon for a bucket of
chicken.
It wasn't a chicken.
It wasn't the bucket. It was like, here, take this to the drive-thru and get yourself a bucket. Loss there takes it back to the 26.
I was hoping Mr. Corey and all those guys made you buy the buckets of chicken for everybody on the way home.
We usually eat on the way. 6:03 to go. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see what we saw last week in the quick kick here.
It makes sense right here.
Yeah, they did it out of their own end zone last week. Justin, who is the punter, and does have a one-step punt. That's going to spin and come down. Caught, actually, bounced in front of Nasoba, who's going to give ground and come back to the 37. Now try to cut it up, and he's caught there and ridden to the ground by Jermel Nolan. And you know what? That's what that is that's discretion. You don't want to give up a wide open field play at this point. You want to make them earn everything. And the quick kick, while it was a short kick and they were able to come back and get it, they actually gave about 10 yards back on the return because that's how bad they wanted the open field play. 5:30 to go.
He just wanted to make something happen, and
Now,
that's not the way to do it.
According to the scoreboard, Clarkson is out of timeouts too, but Connor Irwin Lewis brings a man in and then hands off straight ahead. That's Barrow. Barrow bounces to the outside and goes out of bounds outside the 45 to the 46.
They're playing fast. I see him sprinting over here.
They're going to play fast, and we, you know, when they've played fast, the run has been open. Titans got to get set up faster in coverage. Lighty late getting over here. The big fella, is that him in the slot now? No, he's not in. Irwin Lewis gives straight ahead. That's Barrow again. He cuts it back. Got out of trouble in the backfield. I think Melendez was back there and came back to get a piece of the tackle, but he did a good job turning that in. They're going to move the sticks, and it's going to be a first down at the 48, but it's 5:15 now, clock stopped. Again, the Titans will be willing to give some of those up if they can keep them.
Well, they're doing Lorain a favor, keeping it on the ground, keeping the clock moving.
Now that looks like Mardner over on the far side. Single coverage, dropping way back off the ball was Mincy. The quarterback keeper just going to keep straight ahead and slide, which, again, does Titans a great service. He's across the 50 for a gain of 6, but he could have gained 6 and gone out of bounds.
Yeah.
But, you know, again, this young man is the third quarterback for Clarkson. Give straight ahead. Barrow. He's going to be short of the first down. He's down to about the 43. Big hit there in the middle. I wouldn't be surprised to see Cairo getting off that pile. Now Kelvin Torres just peeled off.
Yeah, that was actually Torres with the hit.
And then there's Cairo Smith.
Cairo went low, and Torres finished him up high. It looked like a spear from WWE if we get that replay back.
What is the clock stopped for now?
Injury timeout. Kid was slow getting up.
Okay. Now the trainer is out on the field for Clarkson, at least the water woman.
Check out the replay, guys.
Here we go. Yeah, they are doing us a favor, keeping it in between the hash marks. Plants and cuts. Cairo low, Kelvin high, and that finished him off.
One thing about this Titan defense, I mean, they've limited this Clarkson offense, only 7 points in the second half so far, but just the physicality.
Yeah, and Clarkson with all the momentum going into the half after the touchdown with 7 seconds left.
You might look at it at Tayshawn Lighty took the wind out of their sails with that big return.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, Lighty with the big plays. I'm always looking to find Mardner, and he's –
and that's one of those other.
That was Davion Dower over top of him. Then he comes back in at the linebacker spot. Give straight ahead. I'm just confused as to why. Now, this is Nasoba, and he's not going to get to the sideline either. That's McDowell down there.
See, another thing that's really helped, I know at halftime they discussed how they're going to cover Marner.
Yeah.
And you see they're doing combinations
on
him.
They're over the top with Dalen. Well, Dalen Dower's over there. They're walking out Davion Dower to try and be in the hook zone. Yeah. Bad snap or snap before the quarterback was ready. and it's going to be tackle for a loss of about 1, but much more than that. The clock is running with 3:30 to go. They've had the ball for 2 minutes, and every play's been a run.
This is kind of like the death march in reverse.
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
And they actually got Kevin Nasabu in the backfield by,
Yeah.
attrition.
You're right. I mean, Yearwood was back there and did an effective job, but I think that a lot of these guys are gassed.
They weren't set out here in this trip.
No, they weren't. Asabo.
He did not get out of bounds either.
No, again, stays in bounds at about the 32. It's going to bring up 3rd and 6. 2:54 to go, and the clock is running. Kameu, there's the collision. Kameu got the best of the collision with Lighty, but he went down as well. You know, this is the perfect example, Tom, of what coaches say, the low pads win.
Yeah. If you see your replay, I think.
Well, here it is, because I think are they going to measure? Are they moving the sticks?
I hope they don't show me hitting eject like Maverick from Top Gun. I got the heck out of there, guys. Watch.
Well, what? Low pads won. That's just what coaches will tell you. And the running back, Kameu, got his pads under Tyshawn. He's going to get more grief about getting caught from behind. That's Kameu again, I believe. No, that's Watkins. 27 or 21. No, that is Kameu, and that's going to.
Oh, there's a penalty flag for some.
Flag over here. They weren't set yet again, I don't think. Holding? Okay. Mr. Trout from Club TV 20 has a holding penalty, and he proved right.
Guys, that play happened right in front of me, and even though the play isn't going to count in the stat book, but Davion Dower did a great job keeping contained on the outside, forced the running back to go back inside. Even though this game is pretty much under wraps, those are the types of things that are coachable moments where you can show the team this is what you do in this down and distance, how you make a play in that situation.
You know, I've been very impressed. I've been at some of the film sessions, and the recognition on the kids' faces tells me the teaching that's going on a daily basis by the coaches. Erwin Lewis wants a lot. Knocked away there at the last second. That's Mr. Mincy.
Trying for his 3rd interception of the game, but I didn't see the receiver even looking back at the ball.
No, I didn't either. I mean, it was not a badly thrown ball, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, it cleared Mincy, but it just seems like this one is just kind of being played out at 1:21 to go. 42-21. The outcome is not in doubt. But for some of these guys from Clarkson, it's an opportunity to get some snaps right there. Mr. Kameu meets the defense. Stray Dog was there along with Cairo and Torres.
If they have a replay, you'll see a dog fight between their receiver Maurer and Dower, I guess.
Which Dower?
Davion.
Yeah, they're putting him out there.
Yeah.
It's going to happen again.
And it didn't look like it was a real friendly one either. Like nice, clean blocking.
Well, you don't come 4.5 hours on a bus. There's an interception. Tyshawn Lighty out in the open field. Let's see. He can salvage something here. Oh, boy. That is – we got an injured Titan behind the play, Isaiah McDowell, and I don't know what – did you see what happened, Tom?
No, I did not.
He is writhing in pain at about the 40-yard line. Titans and Lighty bring it across midfield to the 44, where they're just a kneel down away from the win. But the concern right now is Stray Dog, who's down on his back. Tracy Menges is over him.
I think McFarland knows what happened because he's out there telling, like talking to officials, like that was I'm guessing, a cheap shot. And when you are on the other side of the field, somebody hit him with a slam, didn't they?
Did you have it? Do we have a replay? Thank you, guys. There's a little stray dog right there trying to go under the tackle, and there it is.
No.
That was kind of that was the penalty, wasn't it? Yeah, the play right there was he just got pitched. That was a WWE takedown. That's on the near side of the field and about where it was.
Yeah.
Looked like a hip toss.
Yeah. I thought it was a little cheaper than that. Oh, no, and then he hit him again when he was down. There was a cheap shot there.
There was the business.
I knew there had to be something.
Okay, let's take a look. Here it is again. He comes in, 77 grabs him, tosses
him
to the ground rather rudely. Oh, then speared him. Yeah. And Isaiah is in some obvious pain there.
And he's as tough as they come.
Yes, he is. I mean, Stray Dogs had another big ball game for himself tonight. Let's hope that a little tape and a little ice will take care of this one. But right now, as the Titans come out in victory formation to go to 4-1 on the season, the concern is more about the Stray Dog, Isaiah McDowell, also being looked at down there as Big Tone. They shake hands after that final snap, and the Titans go to 4-1 with a 42-21 victory over Football North of Clarkson, Ontario. And for Lorain, they go to conference play next year, right?
Yes.
For next week?
Yeah, next week is right.
With a game improvement over last year. They went 3-2 last year in the first 5. And the teams shake hands.
Yeah.
Okay, we got the highlights of the scores. All right, Jaden, right on the spot. My man Jaden, let's go through tonight's scoring. Things opened up with 5.5 to go in the first quarter, and it was Tyshawn Nelson. That's Nelson, not Lighty, straight ahead from his fullback spot for 17 yards, and then the conversion, Savon Chavis. Now the news there is it's 8-0, and Dower and Lighty haven't scored until right now. Dalen Dower makes a second move after contact, comes back to the near side, and Jordan Jackson gives him a little bit of a brush block, and that's all Dalen needs to beat a man to the pylon. 14-0 as the run failed. This is Clarkson's first touchdown, and it's also its second and its third as the fade pattern to 6'5" wide receiver Nick Mardner. Just nothing anybody could do, and that time it was Mincy. The extra point is good, and it's 14-7. And that is in the second quarter. With 5:13 to go in the half, it was Dalen Dower following Alzier, and then the fade pattern with 7 seconds to go. When you know where it's going, but you don't have anybody physically that can stop it, that's what happens. The extra point, and we are 20-14 at the half, and you had to feel at that point like the momentum was on Clarkson's side. Then Mincy with an interception. That was after the first touchdown of the half. First touchdown of the half for Titan was Dower on a 1-yard run, and then this is Dower down the sidelines on a 55-yard run, as we established that was a backwards pass, and the only thing that could stop him was the wet grass. Sturgill again, this time it's 17 yards to Tyshawn Lighty for the score. And then finally, that's the Lighty second. Okay. Chavis for the extra point. That's what I'm missing. It was Cross on the extra point and then Chavis on the extra point. And the scoring ended with 2:16 to go. Clarkson for the third time. Mr. Mardner just over the top. And you can see at 6'5", he towers over the cornerback on each side. But when you add them all up, it's the Titans on top once again, 42-21. And, Tom, that's a good challenge. That's a good football team.
They were. I mean, they were very athletic when you look down there. They played the best competition they can find.
And they're playing American football because they want college scholarships in the United States. So,
as you mentioned, this was the preseason. Now the second season starts because now we're going into for 5 league games.
Where's our friend Rick down on the field? Are you still there, Ricky?
I see him out there.
I'm looking for him and I can't find him.
No, I don't. I thought he had a white hat on.
Well, okay, so we can't locate Rick to get a final word from one of the coaches. But the Titans will take this one to the house and go to 4-1 on the season, and they'll be right back here next week. And the Warrensville Tigers will provide the opposition. Warrensville 2-2 on the young season going into tonight.
I thought it was Cleveland Heights.
Is it Cleveland Heights next
Heights,
week? Okay,
yes.
my mistake. I believe they're 2-2 as well.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, so the Titans open defense of their LEL title next week at George Daniel. And thank you all to the people for helping here. Club TV 20 with Mr. Terry Trout and Mr. Joe Bach, and featuring Jaden Morales on replay. From my partner Tom Bauer and Rick Amador, this is Jay Ferguson. Have a good night, everybody.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.